and we'll rush it right out.
Well, sounds like a pretty sweet thing for really anybody who owns a timeshare.
It really is. It could make you thousands of dollars.
Well, okay, the top 10 secrets to buying and selling timeshares. Here's the phone number to call. It's 1-800-600-3037. Again, that's 1-800-600-3037. 1-800-600-3037.
There's only one way to experience summer. Fairmont Hotels and Resorts. Discover how Fairmont brings you the destination like no one else. Visit Fairmont.com for details.
2006 U.S. Open tickets go on sale this Monday at 9 a.m. Call Ticketmaster at 1-866-OPEN-TICKS or visit usopen.org. From August 28th through September 10th, experience the world's toughest tennis played in the world's greatest city. Call 1-866-OPEN-TICKS.
Musicians, starting Friday, step into another dimension where price cuts and markdowns are even bigger than in your wildest dreams. Where you'll find out of this world savings of 60, 70, even up to 80% off on the gear you need. It's Guitar Center's Deals from the Warped Dimension. Save on all the top manufacturers in every department. Ibanez Electric Epiphone Acoustics half off. 10 sets of Diodario electric strings, just $29. And get this, for the first time ever, get a complete drum kit with hardware and cymbals, just $99. Hurry! This 3-day deal is limited to supply on hand. Plus, enter to win a trip for two to see No Effects on this summer's Warped Tour. You'll get $500 spending cash and a Fender Telecaster signed by the band.
3-day only deal.
Marshall amps starting at $69. Pro Vocal mics $29. Tuners just $5. Guitar Center's Deals from the Warped Dimension. Savings beyond your wildest dreams. Ends Sunday. Don't miss it.
Don't miss out on this truly super deal from Stratton Mountain, Vermont. Visit the Stratton Golf University and raise your game to new levels. 2-day sessions start at just $349. For details, call 1-800-STRATTON or visit stratton.com today.
The good stuff.
Even with today's modern engines, an oil change every 3 months or 3,000 miles is still the most important maintenance you can do. And right now at Napa Auto Parts, you can get Valvoline conventional motor oil for just $1.99 per quart. Plus, you can get a sweatshirt featuring characters from the Disney Pixar movie Cars, free by mail with any case purchase of Valvoline motor oil. Price does not include state and local taxes or recycling fees. Napa, get the good stuff.
Get the good stuff.
The following is an OnStar conversation.
OnStar emergency, this is Laura.
Yes, we have had an accident. We are sideways on the highway.
Are there any injuries?
My back and neck is hurting.
Okay, I'm going to get the emergency services on the line.
If your airbags deploy, OnStar receives a signal and calls to check on you.
Please.
Hi, this is Laura from OnStar. I have a vehicle crash with airbag deployment on Interstate 83.
Okay, we'll send somebody out there.
Would you like me to remain on the line till they are there?
If you wouldn't mind.
That's not a problem. I don't mind at all.
No one offers more vehicles with the safety of OnStar than Chevy.
I really appreciate your help. That's the policeman. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Choose a vehicle that could help save your life. Choose a Chevy with OnStar. Chevy, America's #1 brand, America's #1 value, offers 16 OnStar-equipped cars and trucks. Ford, Dodge, and Toyota don't have any. To learn more, visit OnStar.com.
This is the Imus in the Morning radio program on WFAN New York. It is 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Time for the headline stories. The killing of Abu Musab al-Zarqawi is a new beginning for Iraq. That's according to a statement from the Interior Minister of Iraq today. Authorities, though, have imposed a traffic ban in an apparent effort to prevent al-Qaeda reprisal attacks. The ban in Baghdad and in the town of Akuba, near where the U.S. aircraft killed the most wanted man in Iraq, will last from 11 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon when Iraqis have to go to mosque for Friday prayers. President Bush cautioning people the death of al-Zarqawi does not spell at all the end of the violence. In fact, some predict attacks will actually intensify to try to show that al-Qaeda is still visible and viable in Iraq. Yesterday...
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm kind of curious about, in talking to Richard Engel about this reward they're going to pay. They offer $25 million, you know.
Right.
And apparently either one guy is going to get it, or there might be a group of them are going to get it.
Yeah.
So I told Richard, like when a bunch of factory workers, you know, in someplace in Michigan,
right,
win $380 million in a Powerball deal, you know.
Yes.
And but apparently whoever tipped them off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Richard, it was kind of confusing. Richard, they either have already received the money, and been spirited out of the country because, you can't be living there some dump in Baghdad and suddenly, it's like the old Henry Hill mafia story, remember? He can't suddenly
sure.
Yeah. In that case, you'd drive around in a brand new Cadillac. In this case, you can't suddenly be tooling around Baghdad in a Bentley.
Or listen to the pool in your backyard. Cabanas and waiters and all that kind of thing.
No. So
Building a McMansion, raising the old shack.
this cat. But anyway,
Robert De Niro going, don't buy nothing. What'd I tell you? Don't buy nothing. Take it back. Look at another one. I can't believe this. One buys a mink, another one buys a car.
One wife walked in a mink burqa? No.
Yeah.
We're all going to get pinched.
Well, coming up in a little bit here, we're going to talk with Mary Matlin and then Paul Begala. Dr. Phil's in this morning, and so is Greg Kenny, our designer. So it's got to be a good show.
Well,
yes, it is.
Neither of us will be drooling.
Well, that'll be fine.
Speak for yourself.
At Hackensack University Medical Center, we've won awards for cancer care, heart care, geriatric care, and patient care. The operative word here is care. Care is what's made us one of the country's leading cancer care providers. It's what's gotten us recognized by the J.D. Power and Associates Distinguished Hospital Program for an outstanding patient experience. It's why U.S. News and World Report calls us one of the nation's best hospitals for heart and heart surgery, as well as geriatrics. Care is caring enough to provide the best of science and service. It's reducing any possibility of human error by providing the most cutting-edge technology available. It's caring about our patients' lives while they're here and about their lifestyles long after they've left. Care is what's made us the country's fourth largest hospital by inpatient admissions. For such a small word, care means so much to us. Hackensack University Medical Center. When you feel good, we feel good.
The Imus Business Report is brought to you by Guests of the Ayatollah, the exciting new book by Mark Bowden, author of Black Hawk Down.
Rolex ambassador Phil Mickelson has perfected the crowd-pleasing performance. First, there was the birdie at the final hole of the 2004 Masters tournament. Then the flop shot that carried him to victory at the 87th PGA Championship. And as he strolled to the 18th green, his gallery greeted him with thunderous applause for his 2006 Masters win. By now, his gallery-friendly ways come as no surprise. Everything about Phil Mickelson makes him the people's champion. His ubiquitous smile, his dedication to family, his unflinching approach to the game. On any given Sunday, he leaves spectators believing they've spent an afternoon with an old friend rather than one of history's greatest golfers. Rolex, with its commitment to excellence in timekeeping, salutes Phil Mickelson.
See what a new watch can say about you at Tourneau, the world's largest watch store since 1900. Madison at 52nd, 7th Avenue and 34th Street. The shops at Columbus Circle, Roosevelt Field, the Tourneau Time Machine, 57th Street of Madison. And now open at the Westchester and White Plains.
5 minutes after the hour here on the Imus and Wayne program on the radio all over the country and on MSNBC. I was just talking to Chernoff. He said the front page of the New York Post has a picture of a dead Zachary, and the headline reads, "Warm up the virgins."
Exactly.
Well, but as we were wondering yesterday, at least I was, do we have to, because the Rock Man also got croaked with him.
Right.
Or as I love Jack Jacobs line, greased.
Yep.
Did they have to divvy up the virgins? And Colonel Jacobs said they didn't think so. He thought that they, they would be whatever 72 and 72 is, probably 144, right, Chuck, or something like that?
Well, weren't there others greased along with them, though? Weren't there a total of like 8 or something? That'd be a bunch of virgins, wouldn't it?
Listen, it's 2006. There aren't that many virgins on the planet. How could there be that many in heaven?
Not in my neighborhood.
Greg Kenny's in with us this morning. He's our designer. And Dr. Phil is also on the program this morning. And
Did you see that footage of Zarqawi that they ran about 1 billion times trying to work that submachine gun?
Yes, I did.
Do you think it's kind of what we would be entreated to if we were there at the pistol range with you?
No, that's not what would happen if you were to pistol range with me, by the way. Maybe you'll find out one of these days, you fat bastard.
Bring it on, Grandpa. Bring it on.
Now, this kind of vile language is not necessary.
No. Cat fight.
Yeah. Anyway, time for a little news, and here with that. Where's Dave? Dave, why am I getting an echo now? Well, how does this thing change from minute to second to second?
Weird.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe you're in a flashback.
Maybe you ought to shut up, fatso. Well, that was not necessary. That was harsh.
God almighty.
That was harsh and mean.
What happened?
Your
I'm sorry,
head looks
Dr.
much
Phil.
better, by the way.
Yeah, and your head does, too. Your head's bigger than Chris Carlin's head.
Somebody's on there, period.
Here is Chuck with the news. Good morning, Charles.
Morning, I-Man.
Princess Echo. Go ahead.
No celebrating. The White House says the death of Abu Musab al-Zarqawi is no reason for euphoria, the president cautioning it does not signal the end of the Iraqi insurgency, hardly. Some U.S. officials even predict terrorist attacks will now intensify in Iraq, perhaps reprisal activity. Yesterday, White House spokesman Tony Snow said Zarqawi's death, though, is certainly a positive turning point.
It's important for us to understand that a war on terror is a war that involves the hearts and minds and determinations of all people involved, those on our side and also the bad guys as well. What happened today was a blow to the morale of the other side.
In Afghanistan, the fugitive Taliban leader Mullah Mohammed Omar has been heard from, apparently. He vowing that the killing of Zarqawi would not weaken Muslim efforts against Crusader forces, Afghanistan, and Iraq.
That's a squirrely little dude used to hang around with Osama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like a Mutt and Jeff dealer, isn't he?
Sort of.
Yeah.
You're very much so. You're right.
Kind of like a McCord and Imus type of deal.
Major General William Caldwell, who narrated a video of the attack for reporters, said the military is learning some important things now in its search for terrorists.
The information that we were able to gather over the last 24 hours is currently being used and exploited. It will influence future operations, so it'd be kind of inappropriate at this point to talk about future ops.
Thanks.
Said Zarqawi's... What?
What was that? Who was that?
That's Major General William Caldwell, who...
We need guys like Chesty Pullett with booming voices.
Yeah, we need like a patent deal. All right, go ahead.
He said Zarqawi's body was recovered and cleaned up for that photograph that's on the cover of a number of the major newspapers today. Samples of Zarqawi's DNA.
Has anybody seen Pavarotti, by the way? Huh?
In the past 24 hours or so? No.
Well, how do we know that's not an old picture of John Belushi?
Yep. Some call Rove
scam, you know?
Yep, no doubt.
Go ahead, Charles.
Samples of Zarqawi's DNA have been sent to the FBI's crime lab in Virginia for absolute confirmation.
Are we irritating you, Charles, because you're trying to do the news and we
Not
keep
at all.
interrupting?
Not at all. Well, you have cogent observations.
Very good observations.
Let me be the first to apologize.
No
for these
apology
rude
necessary.
interruptions.
None necessary at all.
Charles continues.
So far, little partisan political fighting in the United States concerning the demise of Mr. Zarqawi. Retired U.S. Army General, former Democratic presidential candidate Wesley Clark, said that death is a key military hit.
I think this is the kind of strike that's absolutely essential in moving forward, and I have no doubt that this strike will have a very, very favorable impact.
Yeah, they got Zarqawi, and it's favorable.
Oh, man. Why didn't we elect him?
Not favorable to everybody. Some Democrats breaking ranks from their leadership said the death of Zarqawi was a stunt to divert attention from a hopeless war.
Who said that?
Congressman Pete Stark, California Democrat,
oh, Jesus,
says, quote, this is just to cover Bush's rear so he doesn't have to answer for Iraqi civilians being killed by the U.S. military.
Oh, shut up, you pipsqueak.
And another I-fave, Congressman...
I'm talking to you, Charles.
Congressman Dennis Kucinich.
Oh, God.
Weighed in. Ohio Democrat.
Just got back from Neptune.
Said Zarqawi was a small part of a growing anti-American insurgency and that it is actually just time to get out.
Hey, the circus is in town, Dennis. Go back and get in a Volkswagen. Go ahead.
Officials in the Iraqi capital bracing for the possibility of more trouble in the wake of the killing of Zarqawi. Interior Ministry banning cars and trucks from the streets of Baghdad today, also Bakuba, in an attempt to prevent any repeat of yesterday's violence, which left more than 30 people dead. A Time magazine reporter in Baghdad says American forces should expect revenge attacks for the killing of al-Zarqawi.
There is bound to be a spasm of attacks. There will be a retaliation. What we know from Al-Qaeda is that they don't take a strike against such a senior figure lightly. They will strike back. The other thing we know about Al-Qaeda is they pick and choose their time and their target.
Reporter Bobby Ghosh in the Baghdad bureau for Time magazine and says Al-Qaeda at some point will strike back and most likely strike back hard. He said it is unclear who will step forward to take Zarqawi's place in Iraq.
12 minutes after the hour, maybe Dennis Kucinich could. 12 minutes after the hour, here in the Imus Morning program, the business report is sponsored by Guest of the Ayatollah, which is a new book from Mark Bowden. He's the guy who wrote Black Hawk Down. Guest of the Ayatollah from Atlantic Monthly Press in bookstores everywhere. No, in hardware stores. Yesterday, Dow Jones Industrial Average up 7.92 points, Charles.
Yep, after being sharply down earlier in the day and recovered.
But it's back under 11,000.
It is.
It'll begin trading this morning at 10,938. The NASDAQ closed down almost 7 points. They'll begin trading this morning. Who cares? 2,000 and change, whatever. You know? NBC News producer Jonathan Wald has been named CNBC Senior Vice President of Business News. Kind of interesting because he started as a desk assistant, Charles, at NBC News.
Pretty good story.
Back in 1983, just like those mouth breathers, those mouth-breathing losers who are sitting over to the left of you there in the MSNBC news bay or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah.
They're always being mean to me and wearing T-shirts that hurt my feelings.
That's right.
Well, congratulations to Mr. Wald. And
that's how Bowman and I started out.
Pardon me?
That's how Tom Bowman and I started out as mouth-breathing desk assistants.
But Bernard was an intern.
Absolutely. And now look at me.
Well.
Don't discourage the kids, Bernard.
Anyway, coming up on 14 after the hour, please welcome officially to the Imus in the Morning program our very fine designer, Greg Kenny. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
What do you got in your mouth?
You don't want to know.
I always have to think first before I answer when somebody asks me that question. Well, thank you ever so, Mr. Imus. Can you imagine Greg Kenny participating in your program when such a biggie is going on? Actually, as you might imagine, I'm just not into violence. It's just icky, don't you think?
Yes.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. So anyway, I would have found this al-Zarqawi fellow and said something like, Al, I can't think of one person who's amused by this insurgency thing you're obsessing on. So stop, or you're getting a timeout. Really, if it wasn't for his behavior challenge, he was kind of cute, wasn't he? That little goatee and everything. I adore facial hair. In fact, all those Mideastern types appeal to me, Mr. Imus. Swarthy, hairy, had that dangerous camel bandit, brokeback sand dune air about him. And that camel stink, unfortunately. Here's a concept, Alibaba. Deodorant! I know the Islamic world has been slipping technologically, Mr. Imus, but I didn't quite understand just how much until I saw one of those jabbering gangs of them all gathered around worshiping a flush toilet. Hello? Anyway, turns out they did give that unpleasant Zarqawi man a timeout. But the kind where there's never a time in. You know what I mean? Oh, here's a thought problem, okay? America has 2 F-16s. Okay. If each F-16 drops one 500-pound bomb on a single mud hut, the result will be A, Mohammed Burger, B, Mohammed Stir Fry, C, Mohammed Fuyang. Trick, Mr. Imus, all of the above. You know, as romantic as the image of flying carpets might be, there's just nothing more inspirational than flying turbines somehow, especially if they're on fire. Well, that's pretty ugly, Greg Kenny. Who do I think I am? Ann Coulter? Ann, darling, I love you, but kill yourself, you ill-tempered drainpipe. God, no wonder I'm gay. That'd be like hosing an erector set. I apologize for being such a sourpuss, Mr. Imus, when you've got enough on your plate. Your own termination event right here, you know, Rick Kaplan, your leader, he's going to be spending more time with family. Not his family, a family of gypsies in Dubrovnik. I know you said he'd land on his feet, but if it's a trampoline, not good. They said the decision was mutual. Yeah, right, but I think it was this kind of mutual. When they say they're going to go in a different direction, they don't give you a map, all right? Ouch. I agree with you completely, Mr. Imus. Rick Kaplan is a good man, and by golly gosh, in any setting, a good man is hard to find. Of course, the hard man is great to find, but there's another man. Oh, no. I've done it again, haven't I?
You have.
Is that actionable? Probably. Did I just get us shut down? Oh, God, I'm mortified. Look, I'm zipping it. I mean, my mouth. Damn it, Greg, just shut up.
17 after the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. Dr. Phil will be coming up. We're hoping Dr. Phil is as funny as Greg. Aren't we, Charles?
We're hoping you're as funny as Howard.
Looking for a leader to bring our country home. Reunite the red, white, and blue before it turns to stone. Looking for somebody young enough to take it on. Clean up the corruption and make the country strong.
Hey guys, the men's store at JCPenney is your Dockers headquarters. And right now, when you buy $100 worth of men's Dockers apparel, you'll get a portable DVD player free. The men's store at JCPenney makes it easy to get in, find it, and get out. Get the Dockers you love and a free DVD player by mail when you spend $100 on qualifying Dockers apparel and accessories. It's all inside the men's store at JCPenney, your Dockers headquarters. Must be 18 or older to participate. For complete rules, visit a JCPenney store or jcp.com. Offer ends June 10th.
Okay, stop. Come on, stop. I said stop. Halt! Whoa! What? Nasal? Cease! That's better.
When nosebleeds start, nasal cease. New nasal cease stops nosebleeds fast, safe, and easy. In the first aid aisle at CVS and nasalcease.com. When nosebleeds start,
nasal cease.
Imus.
Well, you want to know what everybody will be talking about before the conversation even begins? Want to be among the first to read the column that ignites a debate or to learn about the concert at that small venue or the big change coming to your neighborhood? When you pick up the extraordinary Sunday New York Times on Saturday evening, you'll be the first to know. Let me tell you how the great newspaper this is. Whether you agree with the editorial philosophy of the New York Times or not is irrelevant. I've actually driven out here to New Mexico 80 miles round trip to get a copy of the Sunday New York Times. Good Lord. I don't know what else to tell you. It is a great newspaper. You could get it Sunday and then just read that the rest of the week. Listen to the I-Man maybe. And you don't need to know nothing else. The Sunday New York Times, you can get it on Saturday night. It's a great newspaper. You can pick it up at Starbucks, too, so do that. Sunday New York Times. Well, in the realm of fine jewelry, A.E. Petridge is known around the world for dazzling cuts of diamonds. Built by Betteridge Custom Jewelry, an extensive array of fine timepieces. For over 100 years, Betteridge has served generations of families. All their stuff, kind of jewelry stuff. They ain't old Terry's down there pouncing on you like a piranha. And of course, God forbid some rich old bastard dies there in Fairfield County or any place in Greenwich, and Terry's on them like stink on McCord. Trying that watch off them rings off them cold dead hands. Cleaning them up and selling them to you out of state jewelry. They're big on that. And of course, Terry's stalking his own father, trying to get that Philippe Patek or whatever, Patek or whatever the hell it is.
Just standing around the corner like a
vulture. Terry, man, that is an evil bastard there.
Peeking in the rooms and how you feeling, Dad?
It's a gorgeous jewelry store on Greenwich Avenue in Greenwich, Connecticut. Betteridge Jewelers, where they've been collecting and selling fine jewelry all over the world for generations. I went there and see Terry, but don't take Grandma with you unless she's got one of them big old diamond brooches on, because Terry will pounce on her like a python. Well, from Mark Bowden, the best-selling author of Black Hawk Down, comes Guest of the Ayatollah, a brilliant account of the Iran hostage crisis. It's a great book. Bernard likes it. Bernard loved Black Hawk Down. He's reading Guest of the Ayatollah. Well, I don't know what the hell to tell you. Everybody likes it. It's the bestseller already. Guest of the Ayatollah from Atlantic Monthly Press in bookstores everywhere.
With the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol, brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Start your morning off with iced McDonald's Premium Roast Iced Coffee, available in 3 delicious flavors, hazelnut, vanilla, and regular. Hurry in today. I'm loving it. On Long Island, Suffolk County, westbound Southern State at Sunrise Highway, there's one lane closed. They've got to fix the overpass. On the overnight, a backhoe fell off a construction vehicle truck and damaged the overpass there. Okay, westbound crossbar.
Oh, a backhoe.
Backhoe.
Not a black hole.
No.
Okay, well, that's different.
Qualification there.
Yeah.
On the northbound Gowanus VQE is heavy from Industry City.
Miss Jones over there at Hot 97 might have got hurt.
Slow Flushing Avenue to McGinnis Humboldt Street. Quiet in northern New Jersey and in central Jersey, eastbound 78. Heavy traffic at exit 26, Rattlesnake Bridge Road. 20 at the George, 15 at the Holland and Lincoln. I'm rear end Rondo with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol.
Oh, man. Charles?
Yeah?
Give me an update of what's going on in the world while I have a coughing fit, okay?
Certainly. Have a coughing fit, dude. The White House downplaying, at least they're taking a moderate approach, certainly, to the death of Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, saying it is no reason for euphoria and cautioning it does not signal the end of the Iraqi insurgency. In fact, some U.S. officials even predicting that terrorist attacks will intensify, at least in the short term, in Iraq. One thing White House Press Secretary Tony Snow says is not justified by Zarqawi's death is euphoria. Today, President Bush welcomes an Iraq ally, the Prime Minister of Denmark, to Camp David. And on Monday, Mr. Bush's national security team will meet at Camp David for a 2-day discussion of Iraq's future security, political, and economic needs now. Reporters have been told the meeting is not to announce a pullout, though, of any U.S. troops. Americans are finding themselves more comfortable supporting the troops while opposing the war. A new Associated Press poll finding 63% of the people questioned consider alleged U.S. military atrocities against Iraqi civilians to be isolated. And at the same time, a new high of 59% now say it was a mistake to go to war in the first place. The number has jumped 25 points in just a year and a half. This disconnect sets the war in Iraq apart from Vietnam. Late in that conflict, opposition to the war grew along with a lack of support for American troops. So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, for God's sake, somebody talk.
24 after the hour here in the Imus Morning Program. Well, according to Joe Scarborough, who I saw a little bit of last night before I fell into a coma,
yes,
drooling on myself. Oh, what a horrible story that was. I mean, I realized if you weren't listening an hour ago, you don't know what I'm talking about, and it's just as well you don't.
Boy, really?
Yeah.
But it's no surprise.
The Dixie Chicks record sales fell nearly 50%. They debuted at #1 with their album, which is a great album. I mean, I like it. I like them. I mean, I know I know what the deal is.
They're canceling concerts all across the country, too. Not selling tickets.
I understand that. They canceled a concert in Memphis, and I guess it's tenuous there in Houston and Oklahoma City. And
in fact, big story about it, about the Dixie Chicks tour struggling in a number of markets.
Good.
What newspaper is that in?
It's out from Reuters.
Oh, Reuters.
In fact.
Somebody could fax that to me, huh?
Initial ticket sales for the Dixie Chicks' upcoming tour are far below expectations, and several dates will likely be canceled or postponed.
Well, I know I got a lot of friends in country radio, and I mean, you can't blame country radio. So you can't say you don't want to be associated with country music anymore, and and expect them to. That's crazy,
Plug was pulled on public on sales for shows in Indianapolis, Oklahoma City, Memphis, and Houston because of tepid pre-sales and a national promotion with Target stores.
Well, they have a little attitude, too,
Oh, very much so,
She does, the chubby...
Think so?
Well, no, I don't mean politically. I mean otherwise.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They definitely do. They have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. But this is before the intemperate remarks about nitwit George Bush and that they made in London. I mean, if you want to talk You want to run your mouth about George Bush? Do it here.
Exactly.
Show some guts. And then, if we all react to it, don't bitch about it and whine. I mean, see, I didn't exact any economic revenge on them or stop playing the records, because I like them, and I think Natalie Maines is great, and I think they're great. But I also think they're morons, Shut up and stop whining. Yeah, man. But, I mean, it didn't take any guts to go to London 3 years ago, whenever it was, when sentiment against the war was running 90-10. And they were talking about hanging Tony Blair, literally, not in effigy, to say, just so you know, we're ashamed of around. Shut up. Do it in Houston. Do it at a concert at the Cotton Bowl or wherever. They'd have lynched him there. So
it's one of the cities where they're, Houston, speaking of that, where they're whether or not the show's going to happen remains uncertain.
Duh. Anyway.
If they're smart, their next release will be the collected works of Kitty Wells.
It's 27 after the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. Well, I still like them. And I like this record. And I like their album. Well, obviously you don't.
Sports fans, can you believe you're sitting on top of the next great sports bar? It's in your basement. That's right, your basement. The Owings Corning basement finishing system will turn your unfinished basement into the sports bar, game room, home office, or media room that you've always wanted. You might have seen the Owings Corning basement finishing system featured on the 3 New York episodes of Extreme Makeover, Home Edition. In less than 2 weeks, the system can turn wasted space into a quiet, clean, comfortable bonus room. The system is mold and mildew resistant, and the walls resist damage from poorly thrown baseballs and splashing beverages. Best of all, the Owings Corning basement finishing system gives you that brand new sports bar without the mess and dust of traditional construction. Call 1-800-NEW-ROOM. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOM, or visit newroom.com on the web. You can get a free in-home estimate and certified professionals to install the Owings Corning basement finishing system. Call now and you can be entertaining in your new basement by the summer. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOM, or visit www.newroom.com for more information on the Owings Corning basement finishing system. Nobody knows basements better.
Hey, Lauren Johnson, you're going to see the new Disney Pixar movie Cars, right? Who's your favorite car? Lightning McQueen? Fillmore? Mack? You like them all, don't you, Lauren? We knew it, and that's exactly why we think you'll want to choose more than one AT&T service. And right now, you can get unlimited nationwide calling and high-speed internet for under $59 a month. $59, Lauren. That's lower than Ramon's, and he's a lowrider. So that's Lauren's world. For everybody that's not Lauren, if we can deliver the right plan to her, imagine what we can do for you. Switch from your old cable company to the new AT&T and get 3 months of high-speed internet free. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT and see Cars, the new Disney Pixar film, only in theaters. SBC is now the new AT&T. Your world, delivered. Tax and labor charges in the FUSF cost recovery fee extra. High-speed internet bill credit applied after 3 months paid service. For details of additional charges, restrictions, and requirements, call 1-866-270-0399 toll-free or visit att.com/details. Not available in all areas.
You have a point of view on today's hottest news topics? BBC World News believes your opinions count and wants to count them on a new interactive billboard in New York City at Broadway and 50th Street. Each week, the billboard topics will change, and each one will be a hot and controversial subject. This week, the BBC World News wants to know your point of view on the war in Iraq. text 47647 and then 01 if you believe that a U.S. soldier should be considered an occupier, or 02 if you believe they should be considered liberators. Remember to make your opinion count by texting 47647 and 01 for occupier or 02 for liberator. The votes will appear on the BBC World News billboard in real time. BBC World News, the BBC's 24-hour international news channel, brings you news beyond your borders and tells you both sides of every story. The BBC World News channel is now available to Cablevision subscribers on channel 104. Develop a point of view with BBC World News.
When you're looking to build a new facility, there's a lot riding on your shoulders. You have to get a structure that meets your needs. You need one that's built to last. You need to get it built quickly. And most importantly, you need it to stay within budget. What you need is a pre-engineered steel building from Anthem Steel. You won't believe how much you'll save in both time and money with a brand new, built-to-last steel building. For more information on how you can get the building you need with less time and money, call 1-800-500-1734. You can even customize your building. You select the size, you select the style. You can even choose to add the look of brick, stucco, or stone. Building a new facility is a big responsibility. Make it easier by calling Anthem Steel. Achieve your goals faster and with less strain on your budget. For more information, call Anthem Steel at 1-800-500-1734. Call Anthem Steel today. 1-800-500-1734. That's 1-800-500-1734.
33 minutes past the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. On the radio all over the country and on MSNBC. I just had an ugly conversation with Mark Chernoff. During a local break in New York, they ran a recorded commercial of BBC World News that I recorded, but only to be. I don't record commercials for people, unless they pay me. But I do it for affiliates. You know, I mean, the other radio stations around the 100 radio stations around the country that carry this program, I will record commercials for them.
Good.
But not. But I don't. But what are they nuts? And I said as a favor for these foreigners, the BBC World News people, I would do it between. They could run it between 5:30 and 6 because I don't feel like coming in then.
Yeah.
But not to run now. Is that in the computer or on a cart, Lou?
In the computer.
Take it out now. Delete it.
Done. Step on it.
Now, that is crazy.
Now smash the computer.
No, I mean, well, you tell the BBC World News that to send a check out here to the ranch for $100,000. That's what I would charge to do that. To get that out here. Well, their commercial is going to suddenly take a slightly different tone. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I dig.
Well, the Dixie Chicks ticket sales for their concerts, as we were just discussing, the plug's been pulled on for Indianapolis, Oklahoma City, Memphis, Houston on the ropes, apparently. However, their show in Toronto, Canada, the first show sold out in 8 minutes.
Yep. So they've added a show there.
And they've added a show in Canada, and Charles said that's good because that's eventually where they're going to have to wind up moving. Well, I don't know.
And the sales are going well in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Where they're booked for July 25th.
Well, as Fox... Go ahead.
No, I just say, other than that, there's some significant problems.
Sold out in Tehran.
Yes, they did.
As Foxworthy said, I hope they believe their rap because it's a $100 million point they're trying to make. You know.
No kidding.
All right, please welcome now to the Imus in the Morning program. Former could be. Well, every time the vice president gets in some jam, they call Mary Matlin. You know, when he tried to murder that
Shut up.
that lawyer down there in Texas.
Stop.
Who'd they call? They called Mary Matlin.
You bet.
Stop. It was a hunting accident. A hunting accident. Happy Father's Day. What's Dieter going to give you? Want to why it's bibs?
I was hoping you weren't listening.
You know what? I was just telling Bernie, the kids just got out of school. This is the first day I could have slept in, but I got up just in time to hear in graphic and detail the drooling story, and my stomach is retching. I can't eat. I can't think. It is the equivalent, though. The girl equivalent of that is when you walk out of a public restroom and you have your skirt stuck in your pantyhose and you walk through the whole airport. No one says anything.
Yeah.
No one says anything. So
Well,
I feel your pain.
In case you all weren't listening, I was at the Man's Hat Shop.
Oh, good. Let's tell it again. Yeah, it's really good.
I don't like to leave the audience in the dark. I was at the Man's Hat Shop in Albuquerque, New Mexico yesterday. My wife was in Santa Fe at the Razor's Edge, hanging with John and Kevin, having something done to her hair. So I said, well, hell, I'll go to Albuquerque, get my hat blocked. Of course, it's 120 miles, but that's fine. So I'm down there with Stuart, and I've been going in there for 25 years, and I chew this Nicorette gum, that fruit chill, that has some kind of sugar substance in it. And so apparently, and my wife has even told me about this. She says, wipe the drool off your chin. So apparently, it ran out of the corner of my mouth. It's white, chalky white. It ran out of the corner of my mouth and all the way down to my chin. And neither Stuart or anybody at the hat shop said anything. And I parked my Ford truck right in front of the place. So I go out there, I'm signing autographs, I'm waving to people. And I get in the truck and I look at the mirror and I say, I was horrified. So then the first thing I do is wipe it off. But I mean, it's way too late then.
Oh, of course.
Apparently, and obviously, this must be a regular occurrence because no one's saying anything because it happens all the time.
Well, the bingo, your boy, you see, that's why the vice president calls you. Because you're right. And it's only when I chew this fruit chill gum, because I used to chew the... What?
No, I think it's a bagel thing, it's an oatmeal thing, it's a yogurt thing, I'm telling you, bibs for Father's Day.
You guys have got to tell me when I'm drooling on myself. I mean, I'm mad now at Stuart for not telling me I was drooling on myself. I mean, people are embarrassed. Well, no, you got to. I mean, I've seen old people do that, and I say, hey, pop your drool on yourself.
Well, most people don't.
Did they tell you the thing about not just bibs, you might be needing diapers? I mean, this is kind of becoming a systemic problem.
Oh, man, I mean, but Lou says these signs have been, there's been a pattern of behavior that's been leading to this, and I said, well, if that's the case, this then is a smoking gun, so that's horrible. 21 play. We're talking with Mary Matlin, who also has an imprint with Simon & Schuster, and Deirdre signed with Simon & Schuster. So,
she did, yes.
Yeah.
I've heard that. That's wonderful. That's terrific.
We had a great meeting with old Rosenthal and Jack Romanos, and we're back in the fold.
We're so happy to hear that. They were all just down for Mary Cheney's book party. That was fun. The Book Expo was in Washington this year.
Why, how did her book do?
It's doing great. She's doing great. How come you didn't have her on?
Nobody asked us. We don't ask people to be on. They have to ask us.
Well, you should have her on. You would like her.
Well, I'm sure I would. Is the book a bestseller?
I think it's selling. I don't know if it's a bestseller.
Well, you're in publishing, Mary. Is it on the bestseller list or not?
I am.
Yes or no? Is it on the New York Times list?
It's not on the list, but it hasn't been out.
Would you like it to be?
I would like it very much to be. It's a great book.
Then behave yourself during this interview. So.
Will you have her on? Will you put her on?
Absolutely.
You put her on the list? All right,
absolutely.
I'm going to call Julie and have Mary come on. You'll love her. We call her daughter of Darth Vader. She's
the one that's a lesbian, right?
Well, that she is, and she speaks to that in the book, but the rest of the book, 90% of the book, which is all about being on a campaign and being the daughter of.
Yeah, but we're only interested in the lesbian part.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Does she have a girlfriend?
She has a lovely partner named Heather Poe.
Will she bring Heather with her?
Does she have to come to New Mexico?
No, they can go to New York, and I'll do it from here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Why not? You can go to New York.
Will they get in a tub of Jell-O and do the interview? No, I'm just kidding.
This is why no one wants to have this chat with you. No, they won't.
Okay. Some serious questions.
Will you go, or do you just live in a tub of Jell-O?
I'll get in a tub of drool.
And you put on your bib, and then Peter puts you in a big tub of Jell-O with some crayons, and yeah, we get it.
We're talking about Mary Matlin. Let's talk about some serious stuff. Now, has the vice president been indicted yet in the Scooter Libby case?
That's another person you're going to have on when he is completely exonerated of these charges. Scooter Libby, this is an outrage. It's a complete and utter outrage. There's one certifiable, bona fide, and documented liar in this case, and it's Joe Wilson. That's just outrage. It's criminalization of politics.
I thought Scooter had started singing on the vice president and other people.
The prosecutor would make it look like that, but of course that's completely not the case.
Oh, okay.
Don't you want to talk about our great Republican victory in California this week? I'm going to ask Paul about that coming up next. This is a seat they were going to win, the culture of corruption. We're all, nothing. There's nothing to the Republican Party. It's collapsing. They're going to win the House and the Senate, and Bush is a lame duck, and here we are.
How did you know Paul Begala was going to be on in an hour?
Because even after the drool story, I continued to listen this morning and
I see.
that he was going to be on.
I'm talking with Mary Matlin here in the Imus program. Back to the Scooter Libby thing for a second. Either he's lying or Tim Russert is lying.
No.
Well, is Russert lying?
What he is charged with is obviously not a crime. There was no crime committed. Okay, she wasn't undercover. There was no classified documents released. There was no damage done, unlike the leaks on the NSA program, which have done horrible damage to our national security. But what it turned on was who told the press when. And as Bob Woodward said after Scooter was indicted, that he had heard 3 weeks earlier from somebody else in the government about this plane's employment. So who told whom when? The press didn't remember. Pincus didn't remember. Nobody remembers when they have these kind of conversations. But to put somebody through this prosecutorial meat grinder for not remembering when he had a conversation, which Woodward had notes saying when he had the conversation with whom. Well, what? It's costing $5 million and torture to his family.
Russert remembers. He's not confused about what happened. What were the details of that story, Bernard?
Libby said that he got the information in a phone call from Tim Russert. I believe that was his claim.
Yeah, Russert says that's absurd.
Absolutely.
So he misremembered when he...
That Tim Russert told him, and if Russert hadn't have said anything, he'd have gone with that story. So when did he disremember it?
No.
First he remembered it was Russert, then when that blew up, then he disremembered something. That's crazy, Mary.
This is... Have you ever been before a grand jury where you're sitting there by yourself and they're grilling you and they're because I had to go before this grand jury twice and the FBI twice.
Yes, I have appeared before a grand jury.
Why did I ask that? I should have known what the answer would have been.
Well, no, I was in a murder case. But go ahead.
You were in a murder case?
Well, I was a witness in one, yes.
And?
Well, I'm not going to talk about it. It's not going to get involved in it. It didn't involve me at all. It was just... Back in the old days, and I witnessed a murder, that's all.
That's all? No wonder why you're drooling.
Well, the problem was, you want to know the story?
Yeah.
Okay. I was living on Astor Place in the East Village. And, I wasn't married or anything, and I lived in the penthouse. And I'd been doing cocaine for about, 3 or 4 days. So I'd been up that long. Doing cocaine and drinking vodka. And it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm looking out the window down at the street. And a guy comes running around the corner, chasing another guy. And he shot. And they stopped right in front of my building, and he shot the guy. So, like a fool, I called the police. So they come to my apartment. Meanwhile, there's a pile of cocaine on my coffee table the size of an elephant dump. And so I covered that up with newspaper, being really slick and so on. So, but I couldn't identify who it was or anything. I just...
Did it actually really happen?
Yes. But they caught him. They caught whoever did it or whoever they thought did it. And they called me down and asked me if I could identify the guy, and I said no, and I had to go before the grand jury and answer these questions from him. So.
And did they get the state of mind when you observed this?
I explained that to him, yeah.
You said in a grand jury I was more high than I was probably hallucinating?
Well, I didn't speculate on what my state of mind was. I just said I'd been up for 3 or 4 days, coked up and drinking vodka.
We're proud of you.
Well, no, I'm not proud of that behavior, but it is what it is.
No, but we're proud because that's so hard, and we all have family members who have gone through this to recover.
No, but anyway,
good job by the detectives. Half a kilo of blow on the table.
Well, they cut me some slack just between you and me, so that's why I love the New York City Police Department. So they said, yeah, to really get rid of that. Anyway, back to Libby. For all that, why waste our time now? What are the? I mean, I hope he gets off, I guess, or not.
Oh, he's one of these neocon skunks who lied us into the war, and for that reason, he should be locked up.
Exactly. Thank you, Bernie.
Right, Mary?
Right, Mary?
I'm just not going. It's a beautiful day. I'm just
He's a neocon
still bent over in pain over the drool story. I'm not going to rise to the debate, particularly on this day, this week, when we got to see the real military in action, Semper Fi. This is what they do day in and day out, and for which we should thank them from the bottom of our hearts for keeping us secure.
Well, most people do. In fact, we raised $11 million to build that rehab center down in San Antonio, and
we contributed. We all
I know you did, but nobody supports this war or supports these troops more than we do of this idiotic war we've got them involved in. That the administration lied or was just so idiotic and ill-informed and got us into.
Get some gum. Chew. No, calm
what
down.
What should I chew?
What is the alternative? You know, what is the alternative to this? To just pretend like they don't exist? You know, the Muslim population, about 10% of them are the Islamo-fascist extremists. But 10% of a 2 billion population is a population the size of this country, which only got more fierce and better financed and more organized in the 20 years we didn't do anything about this. Get out of Iraq and get to the big picture. And what is the alternative to eradicating them? They were the heck can make a truce with these crazy people.
I really don't like it when you holler at me.
I don't mean to holler, but you just locked down without a... I'm so looking forward to... Oh, wait, so we can...
Horrible experience yesterday. I'm humiliated and drooling on myself. Hey, are you a Dixie Chicks fan?
I'm of a Laura Ingraham persuasion on things like this, which is shut up and sing. If you have talent, go do it. I hate the politicization of everything, from Bruce Springsteen or the movies. You know, you can't, The Sopranos. Just please stop. Can we just go somewhere where we don't have to have
do you think Toby Keith and those guys should shut up and sing?
I think that that's another mistake, and you're right about that. You can, if you want to be political, but it's economic stupidity to diss your own genre of music. Why would they do that? Do they think these liberals and these MoveOn.org and these lefty wackos are going to embrace them? No. To these lefty wackos, they're still and always will be hicks, because they think anybody who's not living the way they live are just flyover country crackers.
What'd you make of the Ann Coulter deal?
I take her larger point that in the absence of being able to make persuasive arguments, you roll out messengers that can't be, it's politically incorrect to argue with. But the verbiage is a little stressful.
So you thought her comments about these women was appropriate?
I take her larger point, which is.
Well, why can't you comment on what she's calling these women?
Because that's not her point. That's completely not her point.
Well, no, but I mean, saying that they were happy their husbands got killed and
that their husbands were going to divorce them.
And that they get a little long in the tooth. Maybe ought to think about appearing in Playboy, which
what
is
do you
an option.
think about her point? Her point that you can't, Cindy Sheehan, you can't, if you throw yourself in the political arena,
I think
then you should be able to, address political issues, and people should be able to speak back to you. Well, then that's what I agree with.
I agree with her point, but I think it's repugnant and repulsive and gutless and cheap and cheesy to call these women all these names. I mean, it's just, whether it's right or not, I mean, that's just something, you just don't go there, so.
Well, that's her stock in trade.
And I'm surprised that you won't condemn her for these repugnant
I don't
remarks.
know her. I haven't read the book.
You don't have to know her. You knew what Hitler did. Did you know him? You can condemn what he did.
Are you comparing her to Hitler? See, this is the...
No, I'm not. I'm just, of course not.
This is
I'm just saying.
the point she's making.
All right, you know me. You condemn me all the time.
People run around calling us extra chromosome and Hitlers and Nazis and everything.
No.
Nobody says anything. She calls somebody a harpy, and you think that the whole world's on fire.
You give me hell for calling people names. Let's use me as an example. When I was referring to the vice president's pork chop butt. Why, so...
I never... That's kind of a term of endearment. We like that one.
You do?
We like Darth Vader. Yeah, we like those.
How about Last Throws Cheney?
Where's what now?
Whopping.
What are you guys doing this summer, you and James and the kids?
We are... His family comes up and spends a week or so up here, the Carville clan, and now they're all having babies, so we're going to hang, do family stuff. kids go to, what are you doing? I wish we could come down to the ranch. That'd be fun.
Oh, I'm going on vacation. We'll go to St. Bart's, then we're going to fly to London, and I'm out changing the lives of sick children.
I know.
Maybe when James' family come up, you can take them to the mall and get them all shoes, huh?
Rope them off, sell tickets.
Yeah, thank you. They all look like Amy Carter. Remember Amy? Their eyes just slightly too close together, Anyway, thank you.
When did you meet his family? Take that back.
Oh, I take it
You're
back.
bitching about Ann Coulter when you said my husband's family looked like...
See, you're offended by that, but you're not offended by it's clearly a goober joke.
Oh, that's a beautiful picture of James.
But Ann Coulter just brutalizes viciously these poor women who lost their husbands, suggesting they're happy about it, and you won't condemn her for that. This is not good, Mary.
Good morning. Good morning. Go get your bib. Talk to you later. Love you guys.
7 minutes till the hour. Mary Matlin here in the Imus Morning Program.
Imus in the morning.
All right. Competitive pricing with the deans of doing business. Talking about friendly motor cars from Wapager Falls and Mercedes-Benz of Danbury. You remember that GMC Astro van I brought, Charles?
Yes, I do.
Whatever the hell it is?
Yeah.
I got to sell it now.
What
happened?
Oh,
I don't need it.
I got you.
So, it's up at Friendly Motor Cars. Got about 5,000-6,000 miles on it. And it's a good little vehicle. And I'm going to give all of the money I get for it to the ranch. So, whatever that is. Probably worth about $25,000, or who knows?
The car that Hank Williams died in was worth a fortune. Think about it.
Well, I'm not willing to go up and crawl in a van and die, Greg.
Well, it's just an idea.
Friendly Motor Cars in Wapager Falls.
Make a lot of money for the ranch.
For the kids.
Mercedes, shut up, Dr. Phil. Mercedes-Benz of Danbury. Check them out. Call Friendly Motor Cars. Tell them you want to buy the Imus van, and they'll give the money to the Imus Ranch. Well, now it's time to get ready for that. Well, what you doing this summer? How about you guys be having fun and stuff? Why me like Mary and James having a family up? Get that Nikon Coolpix S6 digital camera. Take a bunch of snapshots of that bunch. Well, you could sell that to almost anybody, couldn't you, Jerry?
I think so.
Be like a Diane Arbus deal. This sleek Coolpix S6 digital camera has a slim wave design. Less than an inch thin, so anywhere you go, the camera goes with you. And the S6 is not just beautiful, it's loaded with cutting-edge technology, including a one-touch portrait mode that automatically activates image-enhancing functions to create beautiful portraits easily. It also has pick motion, so you can create in-camera slideshows with music on a huge, bright 3-inch LCD, and it has a Nikkor lens, so you get the fuzz in focus, The Nikon Coolpix S6 digital camera available at your Nikon authorized dealer. Nikon at the heart of the image. Sound like I'm confused, don't I, Charlie?
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Well, I'm not. Let me talk to you about Lumber Liquidators. Lumber Liquidators carries one of the largest inventories of pre-finished and unfinished hardwood floors in the industry. They have these Bellawood floors from Lumber Liquidators. We looked at that. Put them in a ranch office there in Manhattan that, of course, we're paying for it personally, so you don't get hysterical here. Bellawood floors come in all types of wood, like Bolivian rosewood, bird's eye maple. What you need to do is get a hold of Lumber Liquidators or go to one of their stores and have them show you all the samples they have. They have hundreds. Call 1-800-FLOORING or go to lumberliquidators.com.
On Saturday, June 10th, Borgata presents an evening to remember at Boardwalk Hall. Antonio Tarver and Bernard Hopkins have a dispute. Being gentlemen, Tarver and Hopkins plan to settle it the old-fashioned way, in a fight to the finish. Antonio Tarver has sent other fighters, like Roy Jones Jr., into retirement.
I'm the light heavyweight champion of the world. You were a great middleweight champion. Now you say you want my belts too. Well, on June 10th, you'll learn the true meaning of be careful of what you ask for.
Bernard Hopkins isn't motivated by the things that motivate most people.
This is Bernard Hopkins, boxing legend, future Hall of Famer. There's only one thing I want now, and that is to beat light heavyweight champion Antonio Tarver to make history.
The blood between these men is so bad, we had to record this commercial in 2 separate sound booths. The fight to the finish. Antonio Tarver versus Bernard Hopkins for the light heavyweight championship of the world at Atlantic City's Boardwalk Hall. Presented by Borgata. For tickets, call Ticketmaster Ticketmaster at 1-800-736-1420 or at Ticketmaster.com.
It will be a legendary ending. It'll be the end of another legend.
It'll be a fight to the finish. Presented by Borgata.
What would you say if we told you your business didn't have to pay more for voice and internet service just because it's a business?
I'd say I'll take it, but what's the catch?
No catch. With Optimum Online, you'll get speeds up to 5 times faster than DSL, award-winning reliability, and 24/7 customer service, all at the same low price you'd pay at home.
Yeah, right. And then you tack on the fees.
There are no hidden fees with Optimum Voice for Business. You pay one low, flat monthly rate for unlimited calling in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico with no contracts.
You're telling me I don't have to pay extra for all that stuff just because I own a business? That's real.
It is real, and our 30-day guarantee proves it. So call 1-866-664-FAST or visit Optimum.com to join the thousands of metro area customers who are enjoying up to 60% savings right now. It's Optimum or it's not. See Optimum.com for details. Speed based on Optimum Online running at 15 Mbps and DSL running at 3 Mbps.
There's only one way to experience summer. Fairmont Hotels and Resorts. Discover how Fairmont brings you the destination like no one else. Visit Fairmont.com for details.
Golfsmith Golf and Tennis is proud to announce the grand opening of its Manhattan store. The celebration starts Monday, June 12th at 11 a.m. Golfsmith Golf and Tennis is located at 54th and Lexington in Midtown Manhattan. Golfsmith offers the best brands in golf and tennis in a beautiful, easy-to-shop store format. And Golfsmith Golf and Tennis guarantees low prices every day, featuring a 115% low price guarantee. If you can't make it to Manhattan, visit any of Golfsmith's New York metro area locations. Visit golfsmith.com for complete store listings.
It's Sleepy's half-price Simmons Beauty Rest mattress sale going on now. Get select Simmons Beauty Rest mattresses at half the regular price. Only at Sleepy's, the mattress professional. 2006 U.S. Open tickets go on sale this Monday at 9 a.m. Call Ticketmaster at 1-866-OPEN-TICKS or visit usopen.org. From August 28th through September 10th, experience the world's toughest tennis played in the world's greatest city. Call 1-866-OPEN-TICKS.
Grab your partner, yes sirree, play $3 million Jubilee with 15 chances you might win. Share the loot with all your kin. Tents to the back, ladies to the line. Bowed and form a $sign, 35 new millionaires they'll be. You can all go on a shopping spree. Boys to the left, girls sashay. Grab your winnings and promenade. Bet your numbers, hey diddle-diddle, I'm gonna buy me a golden fiddle.
Introducing the new instant game from the New York Lottery, $3 Million Jubilee. With 5 $3 million prizes and $31 million prizes, there are sure to be a lot of new millionaires dancing all the way to the bank.
Somebody's gonna win, could be you know, scratch and win some door-to-door. $3 million Jubilee, it's new from the New York Lottery.
So play $3 Million Jubilee. Hey, you never know.
Look for the New York Lottery's Fast Track Cash Saratoga Sweepstakes for your chance to win a trip for 2 to the beautiful Saratoga Racecourse. Entry forms and details at your New York Lottery retailer.
Will you look at this? Our shipment of 2-ball mallet putters just came in.
The ones with the center shaft design?
Cool, but weird.
What do you mean?
I ordered them on Tuesday. UPS delivered the entire shipment today.
So that's good, right?
Yeah, but how did they do it?
I don't know.
How do they get these putters into the brown truck and halfway across the country to our loading dock in less than 72 hours?
You got me.
They don't break the speed limit. They haven't moved cities closer together. They haven't shrunk the country.
Probably not.
All I can figure is they warped time in some way.
Warped time?
Yeah, manipulated time. You know what I mean. Don't you see how the days are getting longer now?
Yeah, but it's almost spring.
Pure coincidence. My watch, it's running slower all of a sudden.
Wait a minute, mine is too.
Theoretically, this could mean no more leap years, my friend.
That would be amazing.
From New York, UPS can now deliver ground shipments to Chicago in 2 days and to Dallas in just 3. And faster shipping helps your business. Learn more at ups.com/fast. UPS, what can Brown do for you?
This is the Imus in the Morning radio program on WFAN New York. It is a minute past the top of the hour, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Time for the headline stories. Officials in the Iraqi capital bracing for more problems in the wake of Abu Musab al-Zarqawi's death. The Interior Ministry has banned traffic from the streets of Baghdad today in an attempt to prevent a repeat of yesterday's violence, a string of bombings rocking Baghdad in the hours that followed the first official announcement of Zarqawi's death, and more than 30 people died. Zarqawi, the former head, certainly, of al-Qaeda in Iraq, killed Wednesday. U.S. fighter planes dropping 2 500-pound bombs on a safe house, which turned out to be anything but, where he was holed up near the town of Akuba. At a news conference, Major General William Caldwell described a video of the attack.
The lead aircraft is going to engage it here with a 500-pound bomb on the target. They are going to do a re-attack, and you'll see the second 500-pound bomb go in.
However, Afghanistan's Taliban leader Mullah Muhammad Omar says the killing of al-Zarqawi will not slow the Muslim fight. The Pakistan-based Afghan Islamic press cites the rarely heard from leader as saying, quote, "I give good news to Muslims around the world. The resistance against the Crusader forces in Afghanistan and other parts of the Islamic world will not be weakened," end quote. To that end, a top official of Iraq's oil ministry is that country's latest kidnapped victim. According to the ministry, the man was driving home from his office when this happened in a mostly Sunni Arab neighborhood north of Baghdad. He's the Director General of the State Company for Oil Projects, now abducted. And we will have more coming up. It's 3 minutes past the hour.
Are you in sales or do you own your own business? Do you want to give yourself the edge? Want to see your sales skyrocket, dominate your competition, and have access to countless new sales leads? Introduce yourself to Sales Genie, the largest provider of the most up-to-date sales leads, mailing lists, and business credit reports. No matter what you're selling, how you sell it, or who you're selling to, if you want to increase sales and blow out your quota, you need to call Sales Genie. Sales Genie has the sales leads and mailing lists you need. And right now, they'll give you 100 sales leads absolutely free. That's right, 100 sales leads for free just for calling. Do you want to take your sales to the next level? It's time you gave yourself the edge. It's time you called Sales Genie. Call 1-800-700-5976 and get 100 sales leads for free just for calling. Call Sales Genie today at 1-800-700-5976. 1-800-700-5976.
Pick up this Sunday's New York Times on Saturday evening, and you can sleep soundly knowing that you'll have everything you need to know right there when you wake up. No need to rush out. Shut up.
Have you been to the IKEA summer sale yet? It's almost over. In fact, this Sunday is the last day. And when the IKEA summer sale is gone, so is your chance to save 10 to 50%. For just a few more days, you'll find savings on select IKEA items. A huge variety of styles, something for every taste all under one roof. And with summer sale savings of 10 to 50%, select IKEA furniture and accessories are even more affordable. If you've been to the summer sale, hurry in again. There are so many values, you may just discover something else you absolutely must have. If you haven't been, don't miss it. The IKEA summer sale is so big, it only fits on the calendar one time a year. And that time's almost over. Get savings of 10 to 50%, now through Sunday only, and only at IKEA.
Visit IKEA in Paramus, Elizabeth, and Hicksville. Summer sale ends Sunday, June 11th. Offer valid on in-stock merchandise while supplies last. Other restrictions apply. See store or IKEA.com for details. Some products require assembly.
5 after the hour here in the Imus in the Morning program on the radio all over the country and on MSNBC. Man, this new iPod is so neat, Charles.
Really?
It's a 30 GB iPod, black, and when you punch up a tune, the album cover comes up.
That is neat.
Oh, gee, every 12-year-old should have one.
This is,
Why'd you get just a 30?
well, I didn't want the 60. What would the 60 do?
Oh, I don't know.
Play videos on it. I don't need to see any videos.
It's bigger.
I don't care. I don't want it. This holds 15,000 songs. I have Van Morrison and once a day right here on my iPod. So, coming up a little bit, Paul Begala. We'll talk to him about everything. And then Dr. Phil is in this morning. Dr. Phil has some thoughts on what are you talking about this morning, Dr. Phil?
This contest you got going on where people phone in and tell their tales of woe about their daddies.
Do you have that phone call, Lou, that we got from that woman?
I can get that.
Why don't you get that? Because so I can play that for Dr. Phil.
So we can all kill ourselves.
Man, that was one of the most disturbing phone calls I think I've ever heard. Anyway, so Randall, who it's his company that MSNBC hires to have people come and run the cameras and stuff here at the ranch when I do the program. And I've known Randall for years. He's a professor at the University of New Mexico. So he has a couple of kids, and he and his two kids, his son is they live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Are you hearing this so far, Chuck?
Gotcha.
And his son is a huge Yankee fan.
All right.
So they're going to New York. Randall, the two kids, and Mom. On, do you keep turning your mic on and off?
Yeah, to hold down the background noise.
Don't do that. It's that's more distracting.
Okay.
It's fine. I'm now used to the ambient noise, and I don't mind it. Just trying to hear if I can hear anything, but I do mind.
And the signs just keep coming and coming and coming.
What are you talking about? You mean one day I mind the noise, the next day I don't? Well, they're not making this.
Every single thing.
They're not making. Well, but it's more distracting. Here's why it's distressing.
You don't know
because
how you sound.
If McCord shuts his mic off, I think he's gone. So I don't know if he's still there or not.
No, just using the cough switch.
It's a valid point.
So then I can't. So I think, well, is he still there? So don't do that, Charles. Just don't worry about it. It's not your fault anyway.
Okay. One day you'll be talking to him and he won't be there.
no, there'll be.
Well, there are times he's not there now.
Turn your microphone off, you son of a... I'll get that.
So anyway, they're coming to New York. They wanted to go to a couple of Yankee games on July 16th and July 17th, which I think they play the White Sox and the Seattle, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I called Chernoff. I said, can you get me these tickets? I don't know. I mean, kind of to call.
How many?
How many? Even if we have to pay for them. Son, we're not going to pay for them. What are you, nuts?
Oh, no.
So he says, well, let me call Rick Cerrone. And then he says, well, he knows that you're at the ranch. He knows that you're not going to go. I said, well, what does that have to do with anything? If I'm asking for them, it's obviously important to me. I like Randall a lot. So, I want to help Randall. I told him I would. Well, I will.
He's a nice gesture.
And he's a nice guy, and these kids are great. And I don't know Mom, but I can't imagine Mom's horrible. I'm sure she has some idiosyncrasies like all mothers, but But and I get this song in Dog and Pony Show about getting the crummy tickets. How many? Oh God. Here's Chuck with the news. Good morning, Charles.
Just one more thing, man.
Yes.
Good grief. There is a high-risk job open, as it is described in some sectors this morning, and a lot of speculation about who will succeed Abu Musab al-Zarqawi. Some military experts are identifying as a possibility, certainly, a person described as a shadowy Egyptian, as perhaps the heir apparent to take over the terror operation, predicting that Abu al-Masri, Zarqawi's Egyptian-born lieutenant, might take up the mantle of the al-Qaeda leader, but of course it is still very much an open question at this point.
Here's somebody who might know for NBC News, the Pentagon. Here's Jim Miklashevsky. Hi, Jim.
Hello, Don.
So, a combination of our military forces are involved in this operation. Do you have a breakdown, or is that important?
This didn't happen overnight or even over the last couple of months. There's this special elite group of Special Forces commandos, which includes about 300 U.S. and some British Special Operations Forces who have been hot on Zarqawi's trail for well over a year. Zarqawi has proven frustratingly elusive to these guys. They almost got him 3 times, but almost, as Rumsfeld has often said, isn't good enough. And then finally they caught a couple of breaks. Last April there were a series of raids in and around Baghdad, and that was the time in which they identified and started tracking the spiritual advisor for Zarqawi, Rahman, and in keeping tabs on Rahman, they had an opportunity to grab him anytime they wanted, but they sat back, waited, and watched. And during that time period, they developed other contacts, and as they tracked Rahman, they eventually got some informant, although I'm telling you, that's a very shadowy kind of connection right now. Some people say there was an informant who gave up Zarqawi. Others say it was sort of a compilation of a number of intelligence assets that led to this. But they finally got him yesterday.
They're not trying to weasel out of paying the $25 million, are they?
No, and I heard that they are prepared to pay the $25 million, but whoever it is definitely going to have to go in the witness protection program.
Yeah, we were talking earlier that
deep in the witness protection program.
we were talking earlier this morning that you couldn't suddenly show up driving around Baghdad in a Bentley, dressed like P. Diddy, so that'd be great.
Well, they've had informants before who have actually been given new identities and lives, their entire families, here in the U.S. or in South America.
Why did they wait 18 hours to announce this?
For a couple of reasons. One, they claim because they wanted to make sure of the identification, and that took some time. But truly, the reason was to allow the Prime Minister Maliki to make the announcement. Because this is probably better news, particularly for the Shiites in Iraq, than it is for the U.S. Military and the Bush administration. Because after all, Zarqawi had claimed that his objective was to kill as many Shiites as he possibly could, and destroy their religion, their version of Islam.
Any reaction? Here's what I don't. What I sort of don't understand is it was our guys who did this, and obviously our intelligence, and they might have had some, Scooter Libby type who. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, they might have had some weasel who spilled the beans on poor old Zarqawi, beheading people, a bastard. But, why we would allow this creep to announce it is, I don't know.
2 points. One, if indeed there was an informant, and some in the military claim there definitely was, that is a huge breakthrough because ever since the U.S. has tried to penetrate Al-Qaeda, they have not been able to develop the kind of human intelligence that would get them anywhere near any of the Al-Qaeda leadership, either Osama bin Laden or Zarqawi. So this is a huge breakthrough. Now, one might say, well, why wouldn't they want to keep this secret? That's exactly the opposite of what they do, which tends to make some people suspect this may be a psychological operation, because what they're trying to do is sow seeds of doubt among those Al-Qaeda, so that they're sitting there, eating their hummus and pita and looking at each other and going, is he the guy who gave up Zarqawi? So, they're trying to create that suspicion. And in terms of this operation, they were quick to announce that the Iraqi police were first on the scene. Well, the Iraqi police are the most corrupt security organization infiltrated by militias and the like in Iraq. So the U.S. military would in no way share any kind of sensitive information with the Iraqi police. But I came to find out yesterday that that Iraqi police unit had American soldiers embedded with them. So even the Iraqi police operation was U.S.-led.
Any reaction in terms of retaliation throughout Iraq?
Well, so far, no, but U.S. military thinks this could be a very busy time for two reasons. One, they do expect some retaliation, and Zarqawi ran his Al-Qaeda network. It was loosely knit. There were a number of cells throughout Iraq who operated almost autonomously and somewhat independently, so that they could launch attacks anytime they chose. Some believe that they may choose to lay low for a while because it's really hot. The U.S. military believes this could be a particularly good time for them, because if Al-Qaeda is in the least bit of disarray in Iraq, they'll make some mistakes. And they apparently made a huge mistake in terms of the mission that got Zarqawi, because Zarqawi and his close confidants have always been very careful not to use cell phones because they're so easily traced and tapped into there in Iraq. The U.S. military has so many listening devices, along with CIA and other intelligence agencies, so many listening ways to tap into phone conversations in Iraq that whenever I'm there, I assume somebody's listening to whatever call I'm making. Prior to Zarqawi getting whacked, apparently U.S. intelligence was able to tap into not one but several of these telephone conversations that helped in knitting together the mission that got Zarqawi.
Charles McCord had a good, interesting news item this morning earlier. And that was Omar, who was one of Osama bin Laden's butt boys, apparently sent an email to some Arab or Muslim publication. And so we know whether he has a BlackBerry or whether he's working, who knows, you know? But why don't we get, my suggestion is to get a 14-year-old kid from New Haven, Connecticut or someplace who can figure out what his email address is in about 5 minutes and contact the boy, you know?
You know, that is one of the incredible aspects of this. You go to Iraq, certainly Afghanistan and parts of Pakistan, and you step back centuries. Yet here they are, holed up in hidey holes and caves in the mountains, living on fruits and berries and drinking water and having wood fires to warm them at night. Yet they're able to sit down in the glow of a laptop and tap out emails. And I got to tell you, Al-Qaeda is getting as sophisticated as you can get in terms of putting out their own propaganda on their website with all kinds of fancy animations and graphics and music and the like. They are into full-blown internet production.
In fact, I got a bunch of teenagers coming to the ranch here tomorrow, and we take all of their iPods and all that other stuff away from them while they're here. But I could get one of them to figure it out if you want.
That would, that'd be a good mission for them this summer.
Not going to happen at the CIA, though. That's my point. So, everything else all right with you?
Everything's fine, Don. How's it going out at the ranch?
Great.
Looks gorgeous out there.
Kids arrive tomorrow, and then we change their little lives or try to. We either change their lives or ruin them. And that happens till September. So
that's how I feel every time I call in.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
It'll be fine. Jim Miklashevsky, NBC News, the Pentagon. Well, you can ask him almost anything, can't you, Charles?
Yeah, you can.
And
he is...
See, right then I was wondering whether you were there or not.
Well, I didn't have my mic on during the time you're talking to...
I don't know. I think maybe just leave it on.
Oh, that's not going to work.
It's not?
Of course not.
All right.
We better have a meeting about this.
Good grief.
Okay. God, fine. I don't think you're necessarily to holler at me, do you?
Cough. I mean,
okay,
come
fine.
on, pick your nose.
Coming out of the side of your mouth. Yeah,
some words.
Exactly.
Some words. Oh, don't mention the drool. I'm sorry I told the drool story because that'll go down with me peeing in a phone booth back in the 70s, you know, so.
Body fluid stories from you.
That is just not good.
It's just on the list.
The thing I'm most upset about is that I was down to Man's Hat Shop in Albuquerque, or Stewart. By the way, Stewart's one of the... I know a lot of people think they can block hats. Yep. And... Because cowboys... Here's what... Cowboys with their hats are like women with shoes.
Really?
And it's just
a little troubling.
Yeah, I know it is disturbing, but...
Especially the movie that just came out this
Well, no, it's not those. Those are sheep herders.
That's what you say.
In Brokeback Mountain, those weren't cowboys. Anyway, here's the thing I can't believe. I can't believe that Stewart didn't tell me I was drooling on myself. Unless maybe I wasn't drooling in the store, but I don't know. It ran all the way out of my mouth, obviously, all the way down my chin, so it had to take a while to get there. Don't you think?
Oh, of course. You were walking around with that for a while.
So and here's another thing. I was looking in the mirror each time he'd fool around with a hat, to block it a different way. Then I'd try it on. But I wasn't looking to see if I was drooling, which my wife told me I have to start doing. So.
Yeah, well, it felt natural to you.
But it's only when I chew that fruit chill gum, the regular gum, it's fine, I don't drool with that. If you're watching MSNBC, they've just superimposed chroma keyed a bib on me.
With a big string of drool coming down his
That is just not funny, Bowman. Stop doing that. Dr. Phil will be next, 21 after the hour.
Hey, Imus in the morning.
All right. Here, sometimes you... I don't know what the hell you sometimes do. People talk about their cameras. And when they're taking pictures, I think some people think they have a great shot, even looks good on a camera's LCD. But when they look at it later, it's all fuzzy and stuff. It's on the computer when they try to print it out. So you can avoid that by getting this Panasonic digital camera with image stabilization. And then you don't have to hold still to get a still life. Panasonic digital cameras with optical image stabilization break the rules of photography at Panasonic.com. Panasonic, ideas for life. Check out Mohegan Sun this June for the $225,000 World of Play giveaway. Grand prize includes $50,000 cash, a luxury suite, limo to and from Mohegan Sun, a $1,000 shopping spree. Got the gourmet dinner with a celebrity, a full spa treatment, a reserved Ultra 88 exclusive booth, and tickets to the Jimmy Buffett concert on June 29, 2006. How about that? Be there with them parrot Chuck.
Yeah.
Plus one $25,000 cash winner and 25 $1,000 cash winners. I'm talking about Mohegan Sun, a gorgeous destination resort there in Uncasville, Connecticut. Mitchell Ellis is there. The tribe's there watching Mitchell. And you there can be watching all these great acts like Delbert McClellan's going to be there. Jimmy Buffett's going to be there. Boy, they had Gretchen Wilson. They got everybody.
Top drawer stuff.
Yeah. Mohegan Sun, Win Big Wampum in Uncasville, Connecticut. Exit 76 off I-95. For the ultimate corporate golfing experience, visit the Tommy Fazio designed course, ranked 34th on America's 100 greatest public golf courses list in 2005. Offering unique corporate and small business membership, full-service restaurant, business meeting room with banquet facilities. Business memberships offer no hidden fees, no minimums, and no assessments. The luxurious clubhouse features an outdoor veranda overlooking the course. Monty's River Grill has a talented international staff, many of them legal, to create fun stuff to eat. Great River Golf Club, Milford, Connecticut. Y'all check it out. That's what I'm saying.
Every day, hard-working folks find their furniture, appliances, and electronics are lying down on the job.
Mom, the dryer ate my soccer uniform.
At Rent-A-Center, we say it's time to show them who's boss.
Hit the road, lumpy couch.
With loads of easy payment options like weekly, monthly, and more on new merchandise from brands like Whirlpool and Ashley. No credit needed, delivery and service included. Rent-A-Center, we make it easy to make it your own.
Service included while you rent in Arkansas. The advertisement is for a rental purchase transaction. No ownership in Minnesota. Visit Rent-A-Center or rentacenter.com for details.
What tobacco issues are important to you?
I do not want my kids to smoke.
Last night, Sarah went to philipmorrisusa.com.
I knew I needed a few tips on what to say and how to say it if my message was going to sink in.
If you're a parent who'd like help starting the conversation with your kids about not smoking and handling peer pressure, expert advice and information is available online. Find out more. Visit philipmorrisusa.com.
With the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol, brought to you by Adelphi University. Attend Adelphi's personal advisement days for transferring graduate and adult bachelor's degree students, July 12th through the 14th on the Garden City campus. Visit adelphi.edu/RSVP. Problems on the Jersey-bound Goethals Bridge. There's a disabled vehicle in the process of being cleared. Staten Island-bound, no rubbernecking, so you're doing okay. Southbound FDR Drive, there's a stall in the left lane after 23rd Street. Delay is stretched back to the 40s. And westbound on Jackie Robinson, look for a disabled vehicle taken out the right lane right at Bushwick Avenue. Westbound Grand Central Parkway is slow from the Cross Island to 188th Street, also busy from LaGuardia to the Big QE. 20-minute delays over at the Holland. 15 at the George and 30 at the Lincoln Tunnel. Street cleaning rules in effect citywide. The Imus in the morning forecast. Some clouds, some breaks of sun, maybe a shower. High mid-70s, 62 and partly sunny in Central Park. I'm Rear End Rondo with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol.
26 after the hour here on the Imus in the morning program. On the radio all over the country and on MSNBC. Paul Begala's coming up. We're going to also talk with Fred Imus from Tucson on Sirius Satellite Radio. But first, here with us, a regular on the Imus in the morning program, our, well, not old friend, our new friend, Dr. Phil. Good morning, Dr. Phil.
Morning, Drewley.
Well, the greeting card industry's gratuitous bone throw to the male gender, Father's Day, is upon us. And to celebrate the event, the Imus in the Morning program is giving out free copies of Tim Russert's latest paternal exploitation, Wisdom of Our Fathers, otherwise known as Big Russ and Me, Part 2, Weeping All the Way to the Bank. The idea is for folks to call with their tales of woe about how they were abused by their old man. Well, let me just provide a little insight and perspective for those of you who are thinking of phoning in and sharing your pain. Nobody cares if Daddy put out lit cigarettes on your forehead, okay? You probably deserved it. You do know that, right? So you don't think he was Father of the Year. Well, here's an idea. Maybe you weren't exactly what he had in mind either, Chucklebutt. In fact, there's a pretty good chance that instead of poaching your mom's eggs, he would have much preferred you'd just been a backseat Hummer. Real world, we're all pretty effed up, and it's usually our father's fault. Now, that's not a bad thing, because without that particular psychological paradigm, there'd be no pharmaceutical industry, prohibition would be pointless, and I'd be out of a damn job. Now, for men, it's easier to reconcile the mother-son thing. When we're babies, they provide the womb, and when we're grown, we spend most of our time trying to get back up in there. But the dad deal is a relationship steeped in resentment. Guys resent Pops because his nipples are useless, refuse to give you approval, and he's never home because he's too busy working to support you little meat sack fruits of his loin. So there's little Lyle and Eric Menendez in all of us, some more than others. And I won't name names, Wyatt Imus. Yeah, there's a good idea. Let's let the kids spend the summer on a ranch where there's lots of guns around and nothing else to hunt. Now, to his credit, the I-Man dotes on his son, but doesn't mollycoddle him. Provides the perfect balance of deference and tough love. But it doesn't matter. Wyatt still wants him dead. Why? Because everybody does. Most of all, the members of his dysfunctional radio family, where Imus is the father, Bernie's the prodigal son, and Charles is the quiet, gay uncle. But Wyatt wouldn't ever call the Imus in the Morning program to complain about his father, because Deirdre hasn't yet told him who his real father is.
You son of a... 29 after the hour here in the Imus in the Morning program. Fred Imus and Paul Begala are both coming up.
I've always been different with one foot over the line.
One of the great voices in the history of country music.
Winding up somewhere, one step ahead or behind. It ain't been so easy, but I guess I shouldn't complain. I've always been crazy, but it's kept me from going insane. Imus in the morning.
Musicians, starting Friday. Suits, $3.99. Plus, a huge selection of trio suits and executive suits, an incredible $1.99. How about an extra bonus? A huge selection of silk polos and crews, traveler twill shorts, and David Ledbetter performance golf polos, $39. The Joseph A. Bank Best of Summer Sale, now through Monday.
Tri-State locations including Edgewater, Paramus, Summit, Westfield, Comac, Woodbury, Stamford, Manhattan, Hoboken, and now open at Atlas Park.
If you're looking to ramp up your ride, get ready. Advance Auto Parts has a brand new feature in store for you. Get ready for our new Special Order Center, your one-stop shop for everything you could ever want in parts and performance accessories. Get ready for direct-to-your-door delivery or convenient in-store pickup. When you want the most complete selection of parts and accessories, the only place to go is the new Special Order Center in Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance.
Now you can dial a diamond and save half by calling Empire Diamond at 1-800-SAVE-HALF. Over 70 years in the Empire State Building, they'll sell diamonds wholesale without a middleman's markup. That's right, GIA-graded diamonds at half the price of famous high-end jewelers. Qualified buyers may have diamonds sent to their home or office for a free 10-day no-obligation inspection and get a 60-day money-back guarantee. So save half on your diamonds. Visit at dialadiamond.com or call 1-800-SAVE-HALF. That's 1-800-SAVE-HALF.
It is coming up on 34 minutes past the hour here in the Imus in the Morning program. Jackie just did the weather on MSNBC, and but Jackie wasn't actually there doing the weather, was she, Charles?
Thank you, Randy.
Charles is in a conference at the moment.
Who would Charles be talking to?
Rick Kaplan.
Oh, okay. Well, was...
Thought it was Jackie.
yeah, Charles would like to be talking to Jackie.
Charles is behind the face Roma King himself in.
Yeah, I got a high-pressure area. Yeah, almost.
So, Jackie, here's how I would do the weather. Let me show you my
warm
script.
front for you, baby.
Shake out this house a bar.
Please welcome to the Imus Morning Program, sponsored by the Hackensack University Medical Center.
Here's how I pronounce those names, Jackie.
The star of Sirius Satellite Radio, Channel 63.
I feel a warm front coming on right now.
Shut up, all of you. My brother, Fred Imus. Good morning, Fred.
Hey, man, how you doing?
We were going to suspend you if you didn't call in because you're so irresponsible.
No, I'm not irresponsible.
Yeah, of course you are. But Fred, hello. And so, but you called in, so you've been, you get a reprieve, right, Charles?
Precisely.
Yeah, so you were gone if you hadn't called in this morning.
Hey, you know why nobody tells you if you're drooling?
No.
You couldn't hear them. I've tried to tell you a lot of times you're drooling, you can't hear me.
Have you lost your teeth again, you old fart?
No, I got them in, actually.
So how are things going on your satellite radio program?
Well, they're going real good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's getting better all the time. It's got a ways to go, but it'll get there.
A vast improvement last weekend. I actually thought your show was good.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And plus, you stopped talking in that phony voice, whatever the hell that was.
Well,
it sounds 1,000,000% better.
Yeah, thank you very much. And
the music is great.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Do you have any... we don't have a lot of time. We've got to get to McGollin. Do you have anything at all?
Well, just about, I do just do my regular job, which is...
What is that?
Just to pick these car races.
Okay, who do you like?
I like Kurt Busch to win at Pocono.
What race is that, Chris?
PMS does not stand for Parent Medical System 500.
This is my least favorite track, by the way. I probably won't even watch this race. I mean, it's 2.5 miles. By the time one car goes by the time another one goes by, you've dozed off, you know?
Sure, well...
I like these mile tracks. That's what I like.
Mm-hmm. Anything go on in Tucson we need to know about, or?
No, it's just 105 degrees today, so that's about it, you know?
So you just have nothing?
Well, no, no, it's not the case.
Charles, have you heard anything so far?
Not today.
No.
I think he's, like, scared.
he sounds a little, he does sound a little intimidated.
Well, he should be.
You were going to be suspended today. Now, what do you got?
Well, he should be suspended. You were talking to somebody, and I didn't think I should call in. Oh, God.
Well, anyway. You wipe that drool off your face, you old bastard.
Get off my phone. Happy Father's Day, by the way, Fred.
Thanks,
Nobody else will say it to you. 23 till the hour here on the Imus of the Morning program. Please welcome now the father of 4 sons, at last count, Paul Begala. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Mr. Imus.
How are you, baby?
I'm great, thank you. You know, I've heard everybody teasing you about this drool thing. I'm going to offer you, actually, a useful hint.
Yeah.
Seltzer will take that right out of your clothes, and I know that from my experience in the Clinton White House. You know, you never know when life experience dealing with bodily fluids is going to come in handy.
See, the thing I've been thinking about this morning, but with the drool, I mean, I was chewing this fruit chill Nicorette gum, and it has some kind of white substance, and apparently some of it leaked out of my mouth, but it got all the way down to the bottom of my chin, and that had to take some time. So Stewart and the guys down at the hat shop, those bastards, I'm going to get them. They had to see the drool when it was making its way to from my mouth, the corner of my mouth, to the bottom of my chin, and they let me walk outside with it.
Well, I'm just proud that you're on the Nicorette and not the Levi Garrett, which I used to chew. I quit that a couple of years ago, but you know what? I miss it. I'm still off it, but I miss it.
I chewed that day's work for years, and that and
plug?
nut and all that.
Yeah, that was good stuff. But no, it's bad for you, actually. It's really bad. I don't think all the young people listening ought to take it up. I'm glad I got off it.
I was chewing it when I worked in the mines because they wouldn't let you smoke down there because they're afraid you'd blow everything up. So how are you?
I'm great, thank you. And speaking of blowing things up, this is a good day to be celebrating the demise of Mr. Zarqawi.
Well, yeah, it is, isn't it?
God, it's great. It's great. I have had, actually, the pleasure, I have to say, of teaching it. I teach at Georgetown. And some of my students have been Army Special Forces officers. And they are some of the most heroic people. And I heard Mick Leshevsky's report on your show, and I've seen some others. I don't think we'll ever get the whole story, but I can promise you that it wasn't the Iraqis, or maybe we had a little help from intel from the Jordanians. This was some kid, we'll never know his name, from Ottumwa, Iowa, or Rosenberg, Texas, who risked his life to go and identify that house and to call in those airstrikes. It's a remarkable story of heroism that we'll never know.
And I think congratulations should go out to the Bush administration, don't you?
Well, I think the White House handlers have tried to do a good job of sort of sitting on the president on this and not let him get into his usual irrational exuberance.
No.
But did you notice yesterday he did it again? He used this phrase, well, we're turning the tide. And I can tell you it's exactly what they don't want him to say in the White House. Everybody else is on message. Tony Snow is great. He's very disciplined. The president had to come out and say, well, now we're turning the tide. And I kept thinking, that's what he said. He said we turned the corner when we killed Uday and Qusay, and we turned the corner when we captured Saddam, and we turned the corner when we had the elections. And I kept thinking back to my driver's ed teacher in Sugar Land, Texas, Coach Melton, who, if he was here, he'd say, son, if you're turning that many corners, you're going in a circle.
Are you trying to turn all of your students there at Georgetown into liberal pansy weasel quislings like you?
Not a lot of them in the United States Army Special Forces. No, I don't proselytize in the classroom. Obviously they know my views, but it's about media and public policy. We'd love to have you come and visit. Russert has done the class with me and for me, and Carville, of course, has Stephanopoulos. We've had a star-studded cast of characters. That's the only reason I'm there, is to bring in the stars.
What possibly could I do there? Nothing, Paul. You're far better off. In fact, a guy told me the other day, he said, Don, can I have the day off? I want to go to my kid's high school graduation. I said, could I go with you? Because I've never been to one of those. It's 19 till the hour. We're talking about Paul Begala. I wonder, there's some people, and I think Kerry said, or maybe somebody else said, that they thought with this Zakawi thing, with naming a defense and interior minister there, that this would be an opportune time to bring everybody home. Is that your view, or is that unrealistic, or what?
The truth is I don't know enough to know. I knew enough to know.
By the way.
Well, we should have never gone in there in the first place. I know that.
And we know that. So.
But, I listen to some of these guys, and Kerry's one of them, Jack Murtha, who I have enormous respect for. He's a congressman from Pennsylvania, 37-year Marine veteran. And they say it's time to leave, and I listen to them, and I think they're right. Then, frankly, I listen to other people, and they say, look, if we do that now, we're in it, we have to win it. And if we pull out now, it will embolden terrorists, it'll cause a civil war, it'll disrupt the Middle East, that civil war could spread beyond Iraq, and I think, they make a good point, too. So, honest to God, I don't have the slightest idea. I really don't know what the best thing to do is, except I do know that we ought to have leadership in there that's competent, and there's nobody anymore who has faith in Donald Rumsfeld except the decider himself. And the generals don't have any faith in him, the soldiers don't have any faith in him. And they ought to get rid of Rumsfeld, they ought to get rid of a whole bunch of that crew of clowns and bring some competent people in there.
But then what would they do? I mean, what would competent people do? Well, what is the answer here? I mean, nobody has the answer. You don't, and other people don't.
Well, that's the problem, is the president sets this, he doesn't have a strategy, he has a soundbite. As the Iraqis stand up, we will stand down. Well, what does that mean, sir? How many battalions are capable of taking the fight to the enemy on their own with no support from America? And the answer has hovered between 0 and 2. It's back down to 0 now. And so, honestly, I don't know. The thing, politicians aren't allowed to say this, but we're screwed. If we stay, we're screwed. If we leave, we're screwed. And I think that's the problem of the Bush foreign policy here. Is this thing is a catastrophe, and it's going to haunt us for 20 years.
Well, what does somebody do at some point? Just declare victory and come home?
I think ultimately somebody's going to. And maybe Mr. Bush, he kept promising through channels that he was going to pull 30,000 troops out this year just in time for the elections. I hope for the troops' sake that he does that. It does seem to me that the better of the argument comes from those who say there is a civil war going on. And the question is whether we will simply be one more militia caught up in their civil war. If they're hell-bent on killing each other, I don't know that we can stop them. And maybe it certainly helps a lot that Zarqawi, who was fomenting that civil war more than anybody else, is now dead. And my hope is that when he goes up to get his 72 virgins, that they're all guys.
Well, here's another thing, though, you might want to think about. When I saw this photograph of him, say yesterday, it looked a lot like the late John Belushi when he used to play the samurai deal on Saturday Night Live, or Pavarotti. It looks almost exactly like Pavarotti, and my question is, have we seen Pavarotti anyplace, Or have we seen Karl Rove near Pavarotti?
Or did they blow up the Opera House in Venice and just tell us that it was somewhere out in Bakuba?
Hey, I'm sorry you mentioned the election because I had Mary Matlin on about an hour or so ago, and she said that out there in California, you all were supposed to get Duke Cunningham's seat, and you didn't do it.
That is a district which is so overwhelmingly Republican, and the Republican only got 49%, and he only won because he attacked George Bush.
Right.
He went on the air and he attacked George W. Bush. I hope that Mary and the other smart folks in the Republican Party, and there's 2-3 others, I hope that they take from this that they don't need to change. If they go to this country and they say we have a stay put, stand pat, status quo, stay the course message, the Democrats say we're for change, Democrats are going to win. And I hope they take a lot of solace and comfort in getting 49% in a rock-solid Republican district, when even there they had to run against the president.
Well, when you and Carville engineered this victory for Bill Clinton, he got 43% of the vote. You weren't bitching then.
He got 68.8.
Pardon me?
He got 68.8.
68.8 what?
Of the Electoral College votes. That's what matters in president. If it was
you got. I wish you were here so I could just strangle you.
We'd have won the damn
got
popular vote by
43%
running up
of
the
the
margin in California and New York and New Jersey.
Good. Holler at me. No, that's probably what happened. Probably Stewart down there at the hand shop hollered at me and I started drooling. So I got nervous or something.
The other good people.
You got 43% of the vote. The hell with the Electoral College. We don't care
But
about
that's
that.
how they make the rules. If they
I know that.
I don't like the Electoral College. I got the other piece of news about Zarqawi I think that people haven't noticed is that his death means that Ann Coulter moves up one more notch as the most perfectly evil person on the planet. She's slightly behind Osama bin Laden still. But I think she's about number 2 on the planet now. And I could not believe that someone as principled as Mary, and I listen to her and I love her, couldn't find the courage to stand up to her. What does it say about the Republican right that when they come out and say that these women were happy that their husbands were killed, and even principled conservatives won't stand up to that?
And by the way, you're going to lose down there in Pennsylvania when my boy Rick Santorum takes old Casey, what the hell his name is, to the woodshed there in that November. So.
Well, Santorum is behind by 13 points, and he lost the debate they had this week.
He did?
They had a debate on the environment. You can imagine how slick Rick did on that.
Right.
You know, he's the senator from ExxonMobil.
Charles?
He's also got a piece of direct mail out that I need to send to you that I've got.
Charles?
Which opens up with an attack on your friend Tim Russert.
Why didn't you tell me he lost the debate and he was behind by 13 points? Charles? Excuse me, Paul.
I actually thought it was tighter than that. I hadn't seen the later polling.
Yeah.
Are you lying again, Paul?
No, he's down by 13 points.
Is he down by 13 now?
54-41.
Uh-oh. I'm in.
And he's attacking, but why is he doing this? Next time you get him on, ask him why he's attacking Tim Russert and his.
Well, how do you attack Tim Russert?
This is his letter to his contributors, these right-wing mouth breathers who give money to him. This is one Republican who is not afraid to stand up and let everyone, from Tim Russert on NBC's Meet the Press, the editorial of the Philadelphia Inquirer, know exactly where I stand on the issues. Well, okay. I don't know why you want to pick a fight with Tim Russert.
Well, Tim Russert is the man when it comes to holding these people accountable.
Well, sure, and then at the end he hits him again. He says, P.S. When Tim Russert and these others demand to know where I stand, if I stand by the enclosed pledge, I will proudly say yes, 100%. I will not abandon our conservative principles. Why is he picking on Russert?
I don't think he's picking on Russert. I think he's using Russert as the example of the ultimate authority. Don't you, Charles?
Precisely, of course.
Yeah. Don't try to make something out of this.
He was taking shots at him on your show, too. Well,
hey, what do you think of this Ann Coulter deal? Hillary Clinton said she shouldn't have been mean to these widows, and Ann said that Bill Clinton shouldn't have been mean to Wadena Broderick and Kathleen Wiley when he groped old Kathleen the day her husband killed himself. So,
let me do, you know my favorite book is Lonesome Dove. And in fact, my little company is called Hat Creek Enterprises.
It took 200 pages, as you remember, to get to the cattle drive.
It did. I loved the whole thing, though. Let's play a little Lonesome Dove trivia.
All right.
Okay, I'll donate $1,000 to the ranch if you can remember the name of Woodrow Call's horse. Remember that mare he rode?
No, I can't.
Well, I'll donate it anyway, but her name was Hell Bitch. And the hand sort of reminds me of that horse in the book.
Can you remember the name? All right, Paul.
Wait just a second. You got to get to the punchline. The difference, of course, is in the book there were actually cowboys who were willing to ride the horse.
I'm sorry I ruined that.
It's okay. I stayed up all night working on that one.
Can you? I'll tell you what.
I do owe you $1,000 for the ranch now for that.
Okay, but I'll donate $1,000 to any charity you want if you can tell me the name of that badass Indian in Lonesome Dove.
Oh, Blue Duck.
Blue Duck, you know, and you got $1,000.
Right back to the ranch. That's easy. I know you got the kids coming out tomorrow, and it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. It really is.
I will write a check today and give it to Charlotte, and she'll send it to Debbie, and it'll be in the bank.
Well, I'll send it out there. I've got the address too. We'll send a little money out there. But poor old Ann, I would call on Ann Coulter to eat her words, but of course we all know she doesn't eat.
Imus Ranch, Post Office Box 250, Ribera, New Mexico 87560. How are your kids?
They're great, thank you.
I know you're a great dad. I'm not just saying that. Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you. And to you and to my dad, we're going to go up. Dad spends the summers up there. He's got a little cabin in 100 acres and a trout pond in the Catskill Mountains. We're going to go up fishing with Dad as soon as the kids get out of school. So
you're a good man. Misguided, sadly, but good. So,
hey, one last thing. Everybody needs to go see that Al Gore movie. I know he's a big friend of yours. He's been on the program. He loves the I-Man. You got to go see. And
hey, it was 54 degrees in Florida day before yesterday. Stop.
Well, at least Al Gore is no longer Satan because Hillary Clinton is. Thanks, Paul. 9 till the hour.
And only last week he released an audio tape attacking Iraq's elected leaders and denouncing those advocating the end of sectarianism. Now Zarqawi has met his end. And this violent man will never murder again.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Let's call it a night. The party's over, and tomorrow start the same old thing again. Imus in the morning.
Once there was a nervous little town that was so resistant to change, they locked their doors when the weather changed.
The rabbit is dropping! Lock the door!
So when it was announced that the SBC Yellow Pages was changing its name to the AT&T Yellow Pages, the town was curious. How would they find a doctor? Or a florist?
Or a locksmith?
But on the inside, it still had all the complete local information and most up-to-date ads. So one by one, the people opened their doors and picked up their very own AT&T Yellow Pages.
Hey, it's starting to get dark.
Grab the book.
Peace of mind delivered by the new AT&T Yellow Pages. Don't pick up a new book until you see the AT&T logo on the cover. Need something online? Search for it at yellowpages.com. The new AT&T. Your world delivered.
The Fairfield County SBC Yellow Pages is now the AT&T Yellow Pages. So don't pick up a less complete book. Keep using your SBC book until the new AT&T Yellow Pages arrives.
Yeah, it sounds typical for a software company, but we started in the garage. Actually, the servers were in the garage, and I was in the kitchen drinking lots of coffee.
Chris Johnson, founder and CEO, Priasoft.
Maybe it was all that coffee, but I was definitely nervous going out on my own. You leave a cush job with expense accounts, a nice office, but I felt boxed in there. I wanted to build something, and I found a $700 million email market. But unfortunately, dreams don't pay the overhead. American Express saw the opportunity I saw. It really helped make sure my humble beginnings didn't last forever.
Being open-minded is how small business owners approach their business and how American Express serves them. Open to giving Chris the financing he needed 2 years before his bank would. To see how American Express can help your small business, visit open.com or call 1-800-NOW-OPEN.
A few brown bag lunches here and there, but we're making a good run at it.
2006 U.S. Open tickets go on sale this Monday at 9 a.m. Call Ticketmaster at 1-866-OPEN-TICKS or visit usopen.org. From August 28th through September 10th, experience the world's toughest tennis played in the world's greatest city. Call 1-866-OPEN-TICKS.
Nivea for Men presents Sounds for Men. Today's episode, 21 Cannon Monkey Salute. That was for you. Like our active firming lotion. It firms and tightens your face. only from Nivea for Men.
6 minutes till the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. Is Francesa back yet, Bernie?
Yeah, he was in yesterday.
Was it?
Yeah.
How is he? Is he okay?
Oh, sure. Still
Okay.
fat.
Leave my friend Francesa alone, you bald-headed stooge. Do you have a point of view on today's hottest news topics? BBC World News would like to know what it is. They have a new billboard at Broadway and 50th Street. Each week, the billboard topics will change, and each one will be a hot and controversial subject. This week, you can text 47647 and 01 if you believe a U.S. soldier should be considered an occupier, or 02 if you believe he should be considered a liberator. Text 47647 and 01 for occupier, 02 for liberator. The BBC's 24-hour international news channel brings you news beyond your borders. Develop a point of view with BBC World News. If you're a small business owner, real estate dude or something, in New York, and you're not banking with Norfolk Bank, probably being abused by one of the Norfolk lookalikes. Ever since Norfolk started building branches in New York City, banks from all over the globe have been moving into New York trying to copy Norfolk's success. Even the old New York mega banks have been shamed into being a little nicer to their customers, at least ones they have left. With over 360 branches in New York and New Jersey, Norfolk's physically convenient to millions of people. That's important. But as their customers will tell you, it's their people, not their places, that make the difference. Most of Norfolk's employees are also owners of the company, and owners just think differently than managers. Stop in and meet one. You might run into old John Candace, a very attractive, extremely well-groomed executive who built this thing from one dopey bank out in the Hamptons to over 360 branches that Capital One paid $14.6 billion for. For a bank, remember FDIC. From Mark Bowden, the best-selling author of Black Hawk Down, comes Guest of the Ayatollah, a brilliant account of the Iran hostage crisis. The first battle in America's war with militant Islam. Already a national bestseller, Guest of the Ayatollah getting rave reviews across the country. A riveting tale, proclaims the Washington Post. Suspenseful and inspiring, says the Wall Street Journal. Guest of the Ayatollah tells you this sweeping story through the eyes of the people who lived it. From the terrified hostages to the soldiers sent on an impossible rescue mission. The Denver Post raves, just as he did with Black Hawk Down, Mark Bowden takes his readers into the action. Guest of the Ayatollah, great title, isn't it? And Black Hawk Down was an enormously successful book. Guest of the Ayatollah from Atlantic Monthly Press. Bookstores everywhere. Then we got another commercial to read. This is just stupid. Let me talk to you about Lumber Liquidators. Well, at least I like them. Good outfit. Great lumber. Well, what does that mean? Well, because they come from sustainable forests and it's environmentally friendly wood. And it's inexpensive. They have 80 locations, most of them warehouse operations, so not paying some high dollar rent, bust out lease deal. They're passing the savings on to you, moron. And me. Another moron. So you need to call Lumber Liquidators at 1-800-FLOORING or go to their website at lumberliquidators.com and have them send you one of their brochures or just look at all of the various woods they have. And you say, well, I didn't know there's that many different kinds of trees, man. Well, check it out. Lumber Liquidators, Harvard Flooring for less.
With the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol, brought to you by IHOP. Come into IHOP now and try any of the 3 luscious flavors of stuffed French toast delights. IHOP, come hungry and leave happy. Over the outbound George Washington Bridge, disabled bus being cleared from the zebra stripes coming off the lower level. Inbound 15-minute delays from 8095 Express. Okay from all other approaches, but heavy on the span. Westbound Jackie Robinson still stays slow from the Grand Central to Cypress Avenue. Accident block in the left lane there. And then another disabled vehicle in the right lane at Bushwick Avenue. And southbound FDR Drive, stop and go 96th Street to 63rd. We have another stall just sitting on the side of the road. The Imus in the morning forecast, clouds and breaks of sun, maybe a shower or two, high mid-70s, 62 and partly sunny. I'm Rear End Rhonda with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol.
Horse Racing's Triple Crown stops right here at Belmont Park, and we've got you covered beginning today at 1 with Mike and the Mad Dog's Belmont Preview Show. Then we're off to the races for full color coverage of the 138th running of the Belmont Stakes tomorrow at 5:30, exclusively on your home for the Triple Crown of Horse Racing. The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
Musicians, starting Friday, step into another dimension where price cuts and markdowns are even bigger than in your wildest dreams, where you'll find out of this world savings of 60, 70, even up to 80% off on the gear you need. It's Guitar Center's deals from the warped dimension. Save on all the top manufacturers in every department. Ibanez Electric's Epiphone Acoustics half off. 10 sets of D'Addario electric strings, just $29. And get this, for the first time ever, get a complete drum kit with hardware and cymbals, just $99. Hurry! This 3-day deal is limited to supply on hand. Plus, enter to win a trip for two to see No Effects on this summer's Warped Tour. You'll get $500 spending cash and a Fender Telecaster signed by the band. 3-day only deal. Marshall amps, starting at $69. Pro Vocal mics, $29. Tuners, just $5. Guitar Center's deals from the warped dimension. Savings beyond your wildest dreams. Ends Sunday. Don't miss it.
This is the Imus in the Morning radio program on WFAN New York. It is 9 o'clock and time for Imus in the Morning News. Some of the local developments. Police remain on the hunt for a man who sexually assaulted a beauty salon worker right in the middle of the afternoon, midweek. Officials say the man came into the salon, Sunset Park, pretended to be making an appointment for his wife, was able to lure the stylist into the back of the shop where he reportedly hit her in the head with a hammer and raped her. Neighbors stating the obvious say they are frightened by the incident.
The neighborhood's usually quiet. It's so quiet. And when I moved over here, everybody told me, oh, it's nice. You don't got to worry. Everybody look out for each other. That's crazy.
No one else was inside the salon at the time the attack occurred. The woman is reported to be in serious condition. Police believe she was not specifically chosen, that it was just an attack at random. More than a dozen taxi drivers overcharged investigators posing as foreign tourists in need of a ride from Kennedy Airport to Manhattan. Undercover investigators pretended to be visitors who didn't speak English, got into yellow cabs, handed notes to the drivers asking to be taken to either the Waldorf Astoria or the Brooklyn Marriott. The city's Department of Investigation says that of the 24 cabbies being tested for, quote, integrity, 13 violated Taxi and Limousine Commission rules. 2 drivers were arrested for petty larceny for charging $130 and $100. The flat fare to Manhattan from the airport is $45 plus tolls, and the fare to Brooklyn is metered but should also be around $40. Investigations Commissioner Rose Gill Hearn says visitors to the city deserve the welcome mat, not the doormat, as she put it. Narcotics detectives on Long Island have broken up another prostitution ring. They have arrested a handful of women, different locations. All involved had allegedly been advertising themselves through the popular website Craigslist. Each of the women has been charged with prostitution, and 2 of them additionally charged with endangering the welfare of a child after they allegedly brought a 4-year-old with them along during the encounter.
God.
As of now, Westchester County will officially recognize same-sex marriages. County Executive Andy...
Hey, Greg, how about that?
I think it's wonderful. I don't live in Westchester County, but, it's good for those people. Good for all the Todds and the Chippers and, guys up there who are getting it on.
Maybe you could go there and meet someone.
Well, I have Raul, as you know.
Okay, I want to talk to you about that in a minute, by the way. 3 after the hour.
Listen up, New York fans. Over the past few years, you've heard that StubHub is the best place to buy and sell tickets. So why should you use StubHub? Here's one reason. You're a sports fan. You have season tickets. You have extra season tickets. So you go to StubHub.com, sell your extras, and get cash. Here's another reason. You're a sports fan, and you want good seats for the game. You go to StubHub, find the tickets you want, and get them delivered to your doorstep. See, you can buy and sell sports tickets, concert tickets, and theater tickets on StubHub. And best of all, StubHub also offers a 100% guarantee. So you'll always get the tickets you want in time for the game, concert, or show, guaranteed.
StubHub ticket update.
Looking for U.S. Open tickets? Whether it's on the court or on the course, fans can get U.S. Open golf and tennis tickets on StubHub right now. Even though tennis tickets don't officially go on sale until June 12th, StubHub already has tickets to every round of play. Sports fans can also get Yankees tickets and even Giants and Jets tickets on StubHub. To order your sports, concert, and theater tickets today, visit StubHub.com or call 1-866-STUBHUB. StubHub, where fans buy and sell tickets. StubHub!
Have you been to the IKEA summer sale yet? It's almost over. In fact, this Sunday is the last day. And when the IKEA summer sale is gone, so is your chance to save 10 to 50%. For just a few more days, you'll find savings on select IKEA items. A huge variety of styles, something for every taste all under one roof. And with summer sale savings of 10 to 50%, select IKEA furniture and accessories are even more affordable. If you've been to the summer sale, hurry in again. There are so many values, you may just discover something else you absolutely must have. If you haven't been, don't miss it. The IKEA summer sale is so big, it only fits on the calendar one time a year. And that time's almost over. Get savings of 10 to 50%, now through Sunday only, and only at IKEA.
Visit IKEA in Paramus, Elizabeth, and Hicksville. Summer sale ends Sunday, June 11th. Offer valid on in-stock merchandise while supplies last. Other restrictions apply. See store or IKEA.com for details. Some products require assembly.
5 minutes after the hour, here on the Imus Morning Program, on the radio all over the country, sometimes on MSNBC. I think Willie Nelson and John Fogerty are in Albuquerque tonight. On the day, August 26th. Well, you told me they were there tonight.
August 26th.
I'm going down there tonight to see them.
Go down there and get a good parking spot.
Then we pick up the kids tomorrow at the airport? Are you bastard?
If I were you, Mr. Imus, I would be making plans for August 26th to get my trip.
At the end of the MSNBC portion of the Imus Morning Program, they showed a little of Lee Von Helm, Little Sammy Davis, the guys, and Larry Campbell. And, of course, Larry Campbell was with Bob Dylan's band for 6-7 years, but decided, I don't know, enough. Or Bob decided, one of them. But Randall said he saw Dylan lately, and without Larry Campbell, that band is just... I mean, that's not just sucking up to Larry. That's just, those are the facts.
That's just an acknowledgement of what a musician the man is. God.
A lot of big news stories, but, I mean, Zakowski's dead, and I don't know what else there is to talk about. Greg Kenny, our designer's in this morning, and they've approved same-sex marriage. Where, Charles?
It's going to be in Westchester County, man.
All right. So around Scarsdale,
yeah.
White Plains, that deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Westchester County, New York, yes.
Right. And, of course, Greg, you live where, in Manhattan?
Yes, in the village, in the West Village, yes.
West Village, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I used to live in the East Village.
Did you?
No.
Oh, well, we have 2 or 3 cowboy types on our side of town, too.
Yeah.
Rough trade, we call them. That's how I met Raul, you know. He was leather kind of a guy.
How is Raul?
He's wonderful. We went to the Yankee game last night. He's from the Bronx, you know.
Right.
In fact, I remember when I met him, he said, it was so funny, he's so cute. He said, hi, I'm Raul. I'm Puerto Rican and from the Bronx. I said, get out of here. Puerto Rican from the Bronx. I'm gay from the village. What are the odds? So we went to the Yankee game last night. We lost, you know.
Yeah, it was 9-3.
Yeah, 9-3 was, you know, I always have been a Yankee fan. I never really thought of switching allegiances, but after last night, I'm thinking about maybe, you know, becoming a Red Sox fan, from what I heard last night. Everybody was shouting, Boston sucks, Boston sucks. I'll check it out and let you know.
Dr. Phil?
Don't even try it.
Don't even try what?
Try to get through to him, because he's gone. I mean, he's 2 seconds away from self-combusting.
What is your view on homosexuality, Dr. Phil?
I think that is, you know, if one man wants another man sack in his face, that's, you know, his prerogative. I think we should all, you know, why can't we all get along?
Okay, so you haven't tried to minister to Greg or anything?
No, he tried to minister to me, though.
Well,
and I told him he got to buy me dinner first.
I think Dr. Phil's more likely to menstruate than minister.
Hey, the cowboy hat looks great now. What'd you do to it?
It's 8 minutes after the hour. Here's Charles with the news. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, man. Just a couple of new developments. Al Jazeera has broadcast this morning excerpts of a video by Deputy Leader of Al-Qaeda, Dr. Ayman al-Zawahiri. It praises Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, but does not mention the fact that he's dead, which suggests that either Dr. al-Zawahiri is so far out of the loop, or that he at least needs to improve his communications hardware skills, or both. An Al Jazeera announcer said the tape was made...
Or it took the donkey a while to get to Al Jazeera with the tape.
Maybe so.
From wherever they're hiding there in Afghanistan.
But on this tape, he says such things as, God bless the Prophet of Islam in Iraq, the persistent hero of Islam, the holy warrior Abu Musab al-Zarqawi.
Yeah.
And he also sends his greetings, a shout-out, to the Mujahideen in Iraq and insurgents who are, quote, confronting crusaders and their apostate aides and the merchants of religion, end quote. And we're told that he's seen wearing a white turban and a tunic. And appears
Guess what, Dick Breath? He's dead. Well, deal with that.
And appears against a black background and repeatedly waves his right hand and points his finger in a gesture of admonishment.
Bernard, I don't think we need phrases like Dick Breath on this program.
You don't get that on NPR.
Oh.
You don't get that kind of analysis.
Right.
Only here on the Imus in the Morning program. And Greg Kenny.
Butt out. Dick Breath is deader than Elvis.
Well, that's
Excuse
true.
me,
Were you talking to Greg?
Are you equating me with Dick Breath, Bernard?
It is coming up on 11 minutes past the hour.
Well, you are what you eat.
And speaking of that, time for sports, and here's Chris Carlin.
You know, do I sit here and ask Chuck every morning to put a mirror in front of your face so we can find out if you're alive? No. So I don't think you need to come right out of the chute every time with the fat joke and what do you eat this morning joke and the just do it bald fat loser joke.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll never do it again.
We're sorry, but what arena will you be floating over this weekend?
Yeah.
Thank you, Chuck. Oh, by the way, the
Look for
Cardinals...
Chris about 3,000 feet over the Bronx.
They painted Fuji on my gun for the... I'm getting a nice slice of change for it, though. And pie, too. Baseball yesterday. Red Sox salvaged a game against the Yankees. They won 9-3 last night. Kurt Schilling his 9th win. Cardinals are out of first place, Chuck.
I know.
Bitch. Lost. The Reds have won. That's right.
Who are you talking to?
Wow. I'm talking to Chuck. Oh, C-H-U-C-K, Chuck.
I deserve it.
Yeah, well, you're going to be speaking of the major leagues, you're in for a major league ass whooping, fat boy.
Put some gravy on that bitch.
Put some gravy on that son bitch.
You go get her done.
All right, come on.
Reds have won 8 straight. They beat the Cubs 7-1. They're now in first place alone in the NL Central. And the Mets won last night 7-1 as well in Arizona. NBA Finals Mavericks beat the Heat 90-80. Nice win for Dallas in Game 1 down in Big D. Jason Terry with 32. Shaq only 1 for 9 from the free throw line. Here's O'Neal on his team's Game 1 performance.
I was just, getting the ball to my guys, and, we just have to, mix it up. So, we just got to keep doing what we've been doing.
See you Game 2?
No, I don't think you want to keep doing what you've been doing, Shaq, because you just lost, you fat meathead.
Had only 17 points last night, and the Game 2 coming up on Sunday night.
Do something different.
Sunday night, Game 2?
Yes, Game 2 Sunday night.
Sunday night?
Game 7 is actually August 26th.
That's
Sunday
right.
night as well.
By the way, I will not be going to Albuquerque, New Mexico tonight to see Willie Nelson and John Fogerty because they won't be there till when, Chris? August 26th.
August 26th.
Holy
But
God.
you get a really good seat if you leave now.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
Why do I think the people in Albuquerque are putting up a similar sign to MSNBC with the Imus countdown until he shows up?
13 after the hour, Chris continues.
James Dolan is trying to censor his critics. The owner of the Knicks has started legal action against a website called selltheknicks.com. On the website, they're selling T-shirts featuring Dolan in a dunce cap. Dolan claims through his lawyers that using his likeness is stealing of intellectual property.
Oh, man.
Good luck with the lawsuit, my friend.
I wouldn't have gone with the intellectual part there.
Well, that's what he's claiming, unfortunately. And NASCAR this weekend heads to the Poconos for Sundays. There's more carpeting on the toilet seat than on the floor. 500. That's sports. I'm Chris Carlin.
Don't we have a Fat Boy Lock of the Week?
If you want one, I absolutely can deliver.
Lock
of the Week. Sunday night, Game 2 NBA Finals. The Mavericks are going to have Shaq looking like Al Zarqawi. Mavs roll in Game 2. Bet your freaking life savings on it. The Fat Boy Lock of the Week.
14 after the hour. Thanks, Chris. Here's Bob.
All the ragmen got strippers.
matter was that I know that he don't talk. And the ladies treat me kindly, and they furnish me with tea. But deep inside my heart, I know I can't escape. Oh, Mama, can this really be the end? To be stuck inside a mobile with the Memphis Blues again. Imus in the morning.
Hey guys, the men's store at JCPenney is your Dockers headquarters. And right now, when you buy $100 worth of men's Dockers apparel, you'll get a portable DVD player free. The men's store at JCPenney makes it easy to get in, find it, and get out. Get the Dockers you love and a free DVD player by mail when you spend $100 on qualifying Dockers apparel and accessories. It's all inside the men's store at JCPenney, your Dockers headquarters. Must be 18 or older to participate. For complete rules, visit a JCPenney store or jcp.com. Offer ends June 10th.
The transferred graduate and adult bachelor's degree students, July 12th through 14th on the Garden City campus. Visit adelphi.edu/RSVP. Northbound on 95, there's an accident blocking the right lane from exit 22 in Fairfield to 23. A couple of tractor trailers are there, so we're going to have to slow that down just a little bit. Problems also over at the northbound Gowanus BQE. We have a stall right by McGinnis Humboldt Street, slowing things down. Westbound Jackie Robinson stays slow because of that earlier disabled vehicle over by Bushwick Avenue. And on Long Island, things are starting to ease out on Sunrise Highway. They've made some repairs over to an overpass at Sunrise Highway at the Oakdale merge. Street cleaning rules are in effect citywide. The Imus in the morning forecast: clouds, couple breaks of sun, maybe a shower, high mid-70s. 66 degrees and partly sunny in Central Park. I'm Rear End Rhonda with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol.
20 minutes after the hour here in the Imus in the morning program. In 10 minutes, the New York Stock Exchange will open. What the hell happened there, Lou?
It finally died. Goodbye, Bell.
Good. But the New York Stock Exchange opening is sponsored by Virgin Atlantic Upper Glass. Go Jet Set Go. Imus Ranch Food, sponsored by Lumber Liquidators. I forgot to do this morning.
Oh, okay.
Hardwood flooring for less, 1-800-FLOORING. All Imus Ranch Food products are available at imusranchfoods.com. You have to type in that whole phrase. Or at many leading supermarkets throughout the country. And the Greening and Cleaning All-Purpose Cleaner and Window Cleaner, which you can't make enough of, which is 100% toxic-free window cleaner and all-purpose cleaner, and it works better in independent efficacy tests than any other product on the market. Is available at all Linens and things around the country. Up and down the East Coast at ShopRite, Pathmark, and in New Jersey at Cost Cutters and Drug Fair and all those kinds of places, going into lots of other venues.
Almost lost your teeth when you said efficacy.
Pardon me?
Sound like you almost lost your teeth when you tried to say efficacy.
Well, they're my teeth, so I'm not going to lose them unless Charles knocks them out. Efficacy? Isn't that right, Charles? Efficacy?
Yeah, you got it.
Shut up, Bernard, you bald-headed, snake-looking weasel.
Way to go, I!
We thought maybe you were drooling a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not drooling either.
I thought he said effeminacy test. I was going to say I could pass that. No trouble.
100% of the after-tax profits for all Imus Ranch food items, including ingredient and cleaning, go to the Imus Cattle Ranch for Cancer. Oh, my new plan now is to stay up all day and go to bed. Instead of taking like an hour nap during the day, or 2 hours even, and then just go to bed earlier, which I've been doing and has proved to be successful, except when I was at the Man's Hat Shop in Albuquerque yesterday, it was around 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And that's when I was drooling on myself.
Yeah.
So now what it means for the kids here at the ranch is that I get up at 3 a.m. here in New Mexico, and I would go to bed around 7 or 7:30 or so.
Yes. Wise decision.
But around 3 or 4 in the afternoon,
yes, a little slump.
I get as irritable then as I am usually when I come in here in the morning, because I've only had 2 or 3 hours sleep, because if you take a nap, then you can't sleep at night.
Right.
So Charles has been doing this for years. I just want to keep you all up to speed on my personal habits and so on. Well, that's what I'll be doing.
And when do you go to the bathroom? We need that information too. What's that routine, man?
We're all really your wife asked me to.
Well, what's that?
I said whenever your wife asked me to. Coming up on 23. welcome officially to the Imus in the Morning program. Our very fine designer, Greg Kenny. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
What do you got in your mouth?
You don't want to know.
I always have to think first before I answer when somebody asks me that question. Well, thank you ever so, Mr. Imus. Can you imagine Greg Kenny participating in your program when such a biggie is going on? Actually, as you might imagine, I'm just not into violence. It's just icky, don't you think? I'm a lover, not a fighter. So anyway, I would have found this Al Zarqawi fellow and said something like, Al, I can't think of one person who's amused by this insurgency thing you're obsessing on. So stop, or you're getting a timeout. Really, if it wasn't for his behavior challenge, he was kind of cute, wasn't he? A little goatee and everything. I adore facial hair. In fact, all those Mideastern types appeal to me, Mr. Imus. Swarthy, hairy, had that dangerous camel bandit broke-back sand dune air about him. And that camel stink, unfortunately. Here's a concept, Alibaba. Deodorant! I know the Islamic world has been slipping technologically, Mr. Imus, but I didn't quite understand just how much until I saw one of those jabbering gangs of them all gathered around worshiping a flush toilet. Hello? Anyway, turns out they did give that unpleasant Zarqawi man a timeout. But the kind where there's never a time in. You know what I mean? Oh, here's a thought problem, okay? America has 2 F-16s. Okay. If each F-16 drops one 500-pound bomb on a single mud hut, the result will be A, Mohammed Burger, B, Mohammed Stir Fry, C, Mohammed Fuyang. Trick, Mr. Imus, all of the above. You know, as romantic as the image of flying carpets might be, there's just nothing more inspirational than flying turbines somehow, especially if they're on fire. Well, that's pretty ugly, Greg Kenny. Who do I think I am? Ann Coulter? Ann, darling, I love you, but kill yourself, you ill-tempered drainpipe. God, no wonder I'm gay. That'd be like hosing an erector set. I apologize for being such a sourpuss, Mr. Imus, when you've got enough on your plate. Your own termination event right here, you know, Rick Kaplan, your leader, he's going to be spending more time with family. Not his family, a family of gypsies in Dubrovnik. I know you said he'd land on his feet, but if it's a trampoline, not good. They said the decision was mutual. Yeah, right, but I think it was this kind of mutual. When they say they're going to go in a different direction, they don't give you a map, all right? Ouch. I agree with you completely, Mr. Imus. Rick Kaplan is a good man, and by golly gosh, in any setting, a good man is hard to find. Of course, the hard man is great to find, but there's another man. Oh, no. I've done it again, haven't I?
You have.
Is that actionable? Probably. Did I just get us shut down? Oh, God, I'm mortified. Look, I'm zipping it. I mean my mouth. Damn it, Greg, just shut up.
When I get off of this mountain, you know where I want to go. Straight down the Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico. To Lake Charles, Louisiana, little Bessie girl I once knew. And she told me just to come on by if there's anything that she could do. Up on Cripple Creek, she sent me if I bring a leak. She meant me, I don't have to see it, but she defends me a lover's dream if I ever did see her. Imus in the morning.
For 85 years, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey has helped build regional prosperity through transportation. We build the roads, bridges, and tunnels that make the New York-New Jersey economy one of the strongest in the world. The George Washington Bridge, Lincoln and Holland tunnels, Staten Island crossings, PATH, Newark Liberty, JFK and LaGuardia airports, AirTrain JFK in Newark, and the New York-New Jersey harbor. Every year, Port Authority businesses in aviation, port commerce, and transportation support over 700,000 jobs. We're investing $600 million to strengthen security at our airports, seaport, and river crossings. We're creating a world-class transportation hub at the World Trade Center, building a new fleet of PATH rail cars and expanding airport terminals to improve customer service. And we're doing it all without state or local tax dollars. For more information, check us out at www.panyj.info. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Look what we're doing.
Subway Dinner Theater presents Abstract Mamas.
Look out, girl. Watch it.
And they're off, racing rushing home to prepare the family dinner. Oh no, it's completely jammed! Come on! To Subway restaurants and the new Tuscan chicken sandwich with melted cheese and grilled vegetables with 8 grams of fat. Subway, it's fresh!
For a limited time only at participating restaurants and Subway is a registered trademark. Doctors Associates Inc. Fat content statement refers to regular 6-inch Subway supreme without non-low-fat content such as mayonnaise.
Get the good stuff!
Even with today's modern engines, an oil change every 3 months or 3,000 miles is still the most important maintenance you can do. And right now at Napa Auto Parts, you can get Valvoline conventional motor oil for just $1.99 per quart. Plus, you can get a sweatshirt featuring characters from the Disney Pixar movie Cars, free by mail with any case purchase of Valvoline motor oil. Price does not include state and local taxes or recycling fees. Napa, get the good stuff.
Get the good stuff!
The SBC Yellow Pages has changed its name to the AT&T Yellow Pages. Same great book, same great results. Just ask Dave Kaufman at the Robbins Eye Center.
The AT&T Yellow Pages resides in the homes and businesses of virtually everyone. You don't have just one option in the AT&T Yellow Pages, but rather a menu of options to choose from. The AT&T Yellow Page mini books have served the Robbins Eye Center especially well. When the books come out, our phones ring. We switched to a competitive book. We were disappointed. We've switched back now and have enjoyed great success since then.
Get results that only the most seen, most used, and most trusted book can deliver. The new AT&T Yellow Pages. Reserve your ad today and online at yellowpages.com. The new AT&T, your world delivered.
The Fairfield County SBC Yellow Pages has changed its name to the AT&T Yellow Pages. Call 1-888-238-9928 to place your ad in the hardest working book in Fairfield County, the new AT&T Yellow Pages.
There are infinite dynamics in business. For example, the 10 million saved is 10 million earned dynamic. Or the our month-end reports actually happen by the end of the month dynamic. Or the yes, I can forecast the revenue, no, I don't own a crystal ball dynamic. How do you manage these dynamics? Microsoft Dynamics. Software solutions that are specially designed to improve your customer relationship, financial, and supply chain management. To find out more, visit Microsoft.com/Microsoft Dynamics.
Take a hike, tiny TV.
So long, lazy laptop.
With Rent-A-Center, you can say good riddance to all that no-good stuff. And hello to the latest new merchandise from brands like Sony and Ashley. All with easy payment options like weekly, monthly, and more. No credit needed. Delivery service included.
Hello, new widescreen.
Rent-A-Center. We make it easy to make it your own.
Service included while you rent in Arkansas. The advertisement is for a rental purchase transaction. No ownership in Minnesota. Visit Rent-A-Center or rentacenter.com for details.
All right, please welcome now to the Imus in the Morning program. Could be, well, every time the vice president gets in some jam, they call Mary Matlin. You know, when he tried to murder that
Shut up. Just
that lawyer
stop.
down there in Texas.
Stop.
Who'd they call? They called Mary Matlin. You bet.
Stop. It was a hunting accident. A hunting accident. Happy Father's Day. What's Dieter going to give you? Want to Wyatt's bibs?
I was hoping you weren't listening.
You know what? I was just telling Bernie, the kids just got out of school. This is the first day I could have slept in, but I got up just in time to hear in graphic and detail the drooling story, and my stomach is retching. I can't eat. I can't think. It is the equivalent, though. The girl equivalent of that is when you walk out of a public restroom and you have your skirt stuck in your pantyhose and you walk through the whole airport. No one says anything.
Yeah.
No one says anything. So well, I feel your pain.
In case you all weren't listening, I was at the Man's Hat Shop.
Oh, good. Let's tell it again. Yeah, it's really good.
I don't like to leave the audience in the dark. I was at the Man's Hat Shop in Albuquerque, New Mexico yesterday. My wife was in Santa Fe at the Razor's Edge, hanging with John and Kevin, having something done to her hair. So I said, well, hell, I'll go to Albuquerque, get my hat blocked. Of course, it's 120 miles, but that's fine. So I'm down there with Stuart, and I've been going in there for 25 years, and I chew this Nicorette gum, that fruit chill, that has some kind of sugar substance in it. And so apparently, and my wife has even told me about this. She says, wipe the drool off your chin. So apparently, it ran out of the corner of my mouth. This white, chalky white. It ran out of the corner of my mouth and all the way down to my chin. And neither Stuart or anybody at the hat shop said anything. And I parked my Ford truck right in front of the place. So I go out there signing autographs and waving to people. And I get in the truck and I look at the mirror and I say, I was horrified. So then the first thing I do is wipe it off. But, I mean, it's way too late then.
Oh, of course.
Apparently, and obviously, this must be a regular occurrence because no one's saying anything because this happens all the time.
Well, what's the bingo? Your boy, you see, that's why the vice president calls you. Because you're right. And it's only when I chew this fruit chill gum, you know, because I used to chew the... What?
No.
No,
I think it's a bagel thing. It's an oatmeal thing. It's a yogurt thing. I'm telling you, Bibbs, for Father's Day.
You guys have got to tell me when I'm drooling on myself. I mean, I'm mad now at Stuart for not telling me I was drooling on myself. I mean, people are embarrassed. Well, no, you got to. I mean, I've seen old people do that, and I say, hey, Pop, you're drooling on yourself.
Well, most people don't.
Did they tell you the thing about not just Bibbs, you might be needing diapers? I mean, this is kind of becoming a systemic problem.
Oh, man, I mean, but Lou says these signs have been, you know, there's been a pattern of behavior that's been leading to this, and I said, well, if that's the case, this then is a smoking gun, so that's horrible. 21 play. Oh, we're talking with Mary Matlin, who also has an imprint with Simon & Schuster. And Deirdre signed with Simon & Schuster. So,
she did, yes. Yeah. I've heard that. That's wonderful. That's terrific.
We had a great meeting with old Rosenthal and Jack Romanos, and we're back in the fold.
We're so happy to hear that. They were all just down for Mary Cheney's book party. That was fun. The book expo was in Washington this year. Anyway, great.
Why, how did her book do?
It's doing great. She's doing great. How come you didn't have her on?
Nobody asked us. We don't ask people to be on. They have to ask us.
Well, you should have her on. You would like her.
Well, I'm sure I would. Is the book a bestseller?
I think it's selling. I don't know if it's a bestseller.
Well, you're in publishing, Mary. Is it on the bestseller list or not?
I am.
Yes or no? Is it on the New York Times list?
It's not on the list, but it hasn't been out.
Would you like it to be?
I would like it very much to be. It's a great book.
Then behave yourself during this interview. So.
Will you have her on? Will you put her
Absolutely.
on? You put her on the list? All right,
absolutely.
I'm going to call Julie and have Mary come on. You'll love her. We call her daughter of Darth Vader. She's
the one that's a lesbian, right?
Well, that she is, and she speaks to that in the book, but the rest of the book, 90% of the book, which is all about being on a campaign and being the daughter of.
Yeah, but we're only interested in the lesbian part.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Does she have a girlfriend?
She has a lovely partner named Heather Poe.
Will she bring Heather with her?
Does she have to come to New Mexico?
No, they can go to New York, and I'll do it from here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Why not? We can go to New York.
Will they get in a tub of Jell-O and do the interview? No, I'm just kidding.
This is why no one wants to have this chat with you. No, they won't.
Okay. Some serious questions.
Do you go, or do you just live in a tub of Jell-O?
No, I'll get in a tub of drool.
You put on your bib, and then Scooter puts you in a big tub of Jell-O with some crayons, and yeah, we get it.
We're talking about Mary Matlin. Let's talk about some serious stuff. Now, has the vice president been indicted yet in the Scooter Libby case?
There's another person you're going to have on when he is completely exonerated of these charges. Scooter Libby. This is an outrage. It's a complete and utter outrage. There's one certifiable, bona fide, and documented liar in this case, and it's Joe Wilson. It's an outrage. It's criminalization of politics.
I thought Scooter had started singing on the vice president and other people.
The prosecutor would make it look like that, but of course that's completely not the case.
Oh, okay.
Don't you want to talk about our great Republican victory in California this week? We're going to ask Paul about that coming up next. This is a seat they were going to win, the culture of corruption. We're all, nothing. There's nothing to the Republican Party. It's collapsing. They're going to win the House and the Senate, and Bush is a lame duck, and here we are.
How did you know Paul Begala was going to be on in an hour?
Because even after the drool story, I continued to listen this morning. And
I see.
That he was going to be on.
I talk about Mary Matlin here in the Imus Morning program. Back to the Scooter Libby thing for a second. Either he's lying or Tim Russert is lying.
No.
Well, is Russert lying?
What he is charged with is obviously not a crime. There was no crime committed. Okay, she wasn't undercover. There was no classified documents released. There was no damage done, unlike the leaks on the NSA program, which have done horrible damage to our national security. But what it turned on was who told the press when. And as Bob Woodward said after Scooter was indicted, that he had heard 3 weeks earlier from somebody else in the government about this plane's employment. So who told whom when? The press didn't remember. Pincus didn't remember. Nobody remembers when they had these kind of conversations. But to put somebody through this prosecutorial meat grinder for having not remembering when he had a conversation, which Woodward had notes saying when he had the conversation with whom. Well, what? It's costing $5 million and torture to his family.
Russett remembers. He's not confused about what happened. What were the details of that story, Bernard?
Libby said that he got the information in a phone call from Tim Russert. I believe that was his claim.
Yeah, and Russert says that's absurd.
Absolutely.
So he misremembered when he got it.
Mary.
Just a minute.
Mary,
Stop.
Mary.
Stop. You know what I love about you?
Come on,
when
baby.
you lock down on an opinion, like the infusion of new data or the irrelevancy of your opinion, just not, like doesn't factor. You just lock down. So what if he disremembered or misremembered, whatever the word is, when he heard it and from whom he heard it? Is that a crime? Should you be indicted for that?
Well, no, but
After
if you can't...
10 years of government service?
Well, but he remembered to say that Tim Russett told him, and if Russett hadn't have said anything, he'd have gone with that story. So when did he disremember?
No.
First he remembered it was Russett. Then when that blew up, then he disremembered something.
You know
that's crazy, Mary.
This is...
Have
you ever been before a grand jury where you're sitting there by yourself and they're grilling you and they're throwing... Because I had to go before this grand jury twice, and the FBI twice.
Yes, I have appeared before a grand jury.
Why did I ask that? I should have known what the answer would have been.
Well, no, I was in a murder case. But go ahead.
You were in a murder case?
Well, I was a witness in one, yes.
And?
Well, I'm not going to talk about it. It's not going to get involved in it. It didn't involve me at all. It was just back in the old days, and I witnessed a murder, that's all.
That's all? No wonder why you're drooling.
Well, the problem was, you want to know the story?
Yeah.
Okay. I was living on Astor Place in the East Village. And, I wasn't married or anything, and I lived in a penthouse. And I'd been doing cocaine for about, 3 or 4 days. So I'd been up that long. Doing cocaine and drinking vodka. And it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm looking out the window down at the street. And a guy comes running around the corner, chasing another guy. And he stopped right in front of my building, and he shot the guy. So, like a fool, I called the police, So they come to my apartment. Meanwhile, there's a pile of cocaine on my coffee table the size of an elephant dump. And so I covered that up with newspaper, being really slick and so on. So, but I couldn't identify who it was or anything, I just... Did
it actually really happen?
Yes. But they caught him. They caught whoever did it, or whoever they thought did it. And they called me down and asked me if I could identify the guy, and I said no, and I had to go before the grand jury and answer these questions from them. So.
And did they get the state of mind when you observed this?
I explained that to them, yeah.
You said in a grand jury I was more high than I was probably hallucinating?
Well, I didn't speculate on what my state of mind was. I just said I'd been up for 3 or 4 days, coked up and drinking vodka.
We're proud of you.
Well, no, I'm not proud of that behavior, but it is what it is.
No, but we're proud because that's so hard, and we all have family members who have gone through this to recover.
Yeah. But anyway,
good job by the detectives. Half a kilo of blow on the table.
Well, they cut me some slack just between you and me, so that's why I love the New York City Police Department. So I said, yeah, to really get rid of that. Anyway. Back to Libby. Why waste our time now? What are the... I hope he gets off, I guess, or not.
Oh, he's one of these neocon skunks who lied us into the war, and for that reason, he should be locked up.
Exactly. Thank you, Bernie.
Right, Mary?
Right, Mary?
I'm just not going... It's a beautiful day.
He's a neocon
still bent over in pain over the drool story. I'm not going to rise to the debate, particularly on this day... This week, when we got to see the real military in action, Semper Fi, this is what they do day in and day out, and for which we should thank them from the bottom of our hearts for keeping us secure.
Well, most people do. In fact, we raised $11 million to build that rehab center down in San Antonio, and
We contributed. We all
I know you did,
for you.
but nobody supports this war or supports these troops more than we do. Of this idiotic war we've got them involved in. That the administration lied, or was just so idiotic and ill-informed and got us into.
Get some gum. Chew. No, calm
what
down.
What should I chew?
What is the alternative? You know, what is the alternative to this? To just pretend like they don't exist? You know, the Muslim population, about 10% of them are the Islamo-fascist extremists. But 10% of a 2 billion population is a population the size of this country, which only got more fierce and better financed and more organized in the 20 years we didn't do anything about this. Get out of Iraq and get to the big picture. And what is the alternative to eradicating them? They can make a truce with these crazy people.
I really don't like it when you holler at me.
I don't mean to holler, but you just locked down without a... I'm so looking forward to 08. So we
horrible experience yesterday and humiliated and drooling on myself. Hey, are you a Dixie Chicks fan?
I'm of a Laura Ingraham persuasion on things like this, which is shut up and sing. If you have talent, go do it. I hate the politicization of everything from Bruce Springsteen or the movies. You know, you can't, The Sopranos. Just please stop. Can we just go somewhere where we don't have to have
do you think Toby Keith and those guys should shut up and sing?
I think that that's another mistake, and you're right about that. You can, if you want to be political, but it's economic stupidity to diss your own genre of music. Why would they do that? Do they think these liberals and these MoveOn.org and these lefty wackos are going to embrace them? No. To vote to these lefty wackos, they're still and always will be hicks, because they think anybody who's not living the way they live are just flyover country crackers.
What'd you make of the Ann Coulter deal?
I take her larger point that in the absence of being able to make persuasive arguments, you roll out messengers that can't be, it's politically incorrect to argue with, but the verbiage is a little stressful.
So you thought her comments about these women was, appropriate?
I take her larger point, which is...
Well, why can't you comment on what she could call these women...
because that's not her point. That's completely not her point.
Well, no, but I mean, saying that they were happy their husbands got killed and
that their husbands were going to divorce them.
And that they get a little long in the tooth. Maybe I ought to think about appearing in Playboy, which
what
is an option.
What do you think about her point? Her point that you can't, Cindy Sheehan, you can't, if you throw yourself in the political arena,
I think you
should be able to, address political issues, and people should be able to speak back to you. Well, then that's what I agree with.
I agree with her point, but I think it's repugnant and repulsive and gutless and cheap and cheesy to call these women all these names. I mean, it's just whether it's right or not. I mean, that's just something, you just don't go there, So.
Well, that's her stock in trade.
But I'm surprised that you won't condemn her for these repugnant
I don't know her. I haven't read the book.
You don't have to know her. You knew what Hitler did. Did you know him? You can condemn what he did.
Are you comparing her to Hitler? See, this is the...
No, I'm not. I'm just, of course not.
This is
I'm just saying.
the point she's making.
All right, you know me. You condemn me all the time.
People run around calling us extra chromosome and Hitlers and Nazis and everything.
No.
Nobody says anything. She calls somebody a harpy, and you'd think that the whole world's on fire.
You give me hell for calling people names. Let's use me as an example. When I was referring to the vice president's pork chop butt. Why so?
I never. That's kind of a term of endearment. We like that one.
I do.
We like Darth Vader. Yeah, we like those.
How about last throws Cheney?
Where's what now?
What happened?
What are you guys doing this summer? You and James and the kids.
We are. His family comes up and spends a week or so up here, the Carville clan, and now they're all having babies, so we're going to hang, do family stuff. Kids go to, what are you doing? I wish we could come down to the ranch. That'd be fun.
I'm going on vacation. We'll go to St. Bart's, then we're going to fly to London, and I'm out changing the lives of sick children.
I know.
Maybe when James' family come up, you can take them to the mall and get them all shoes, huh?
Rope them off, sell tickets.
Yeah, thank you. They all look like Amy Carter. Remember Amy with her eyes just slightly too close together, Anyway, thank you.
When did you meet his family? Take that back.
Oh, I take it back.
You're bitching about Ann Coulter when you said my husband's family looked like...
See, you're offended by that, but you're not offended by it's clearly a goober joke.
Oh, that's a beautiful picture of James.
But Ann Coulter just brutalizes viciously these poor women who lost their husbands, suggesting they're happy about it, and you won't condemn her for that. This is not good, Mary.
Good
Too bad,
morning.
Jen.
Good morning. Go get your bib. Talk to you later. Love you guys.
7 minutes till the hour. Mary Matlin here in the
The edge? Want to see your sales skyrocket, dominate your competition, and have access to countless new sales leads? Introduce yourself to Sales Genie, the largest provider of the most up-to-date sales leads, mailing lists, and business credit reports. No matter what you're selling, how you sell it, or who you're selling to, if you want to increase sales and blow out your quota, you need to call Sales Genie. Sales Genie has the sales leads and mailing lists you need. And right now, they'll give you 100 sales leads absolutely free. That's right, 100 sales leads for free just for calling. Do you want to take your sales to the next level? It's time you gave yourself the edge. It's time you called Sales Genie. Call 1-800-700-5976 and get 100 sales leads for free just for calling. Call Sales Genie today at 1-800-700-5976. 1-800-700-5976.
Hi, Leo. Can I help you?
Hello.
Hi.
Dear. Listen, this is Joe Elliott from Def Leppard calling from across the pond. I need to have a quick chat with Paul Bennett about how hard he's been working.
Okay, hold on, please. Let me transfer you.
This is Paul. Hi, Paul. This is Joe Elliott from Def Leppard here.
Hey, Joe, what a surprise. I'm a big fan of yours.
Great, thanks. Listen. Paul, I know you've been working hard. True. I think what you need is to fly Virgin Atlantic the next time you do business in London.
Virgin Atlantic? You think so? What?
Yeah, just between us, rockstar to business rockstar, it's an event not to be missed.
Really?
Upper-class suites, beds with proper turn-down service and stress-relieving in-flight massages.
Fancy.
And you'll probably come up with your next billion-dollar idea sitting at their very own onboard bar.
That's genius. I think you probably sold me. I'm going to look into it.
Well, you do that, mate, and I'll save you a bar stool.
Virgin Atlantic Flight 010, the Sweet Dream. One of 5 daily non-stops from New York to London. Virgin Atlantic Airways. Go Jet Set Go. Visit us online at virginatlantic.com.
2006 U.S. Open tickets go on sale this Monday at 9 a.m. Call Ticketmaster at 1-866-OPEN-TICKS or visit usopen.org. From August 28th through September 10th, experience the world's toughest tennis played in the world's greatest city. Call 1-866-OPEN-TICKS. Don't miss this summer's hottest ticket, Mustang Madness, playing at a New Jersey lottery retailer near you. Buy 5 Jersey Cash 5 tickets through July 9th and qualify for a free chance to win up 5 Mustang convertibles. The New Jersey Lottery. Give your dreams a chance.
It's another rainy end to the week. This is Joe Beningo. Join me today at 10. We'll dodge the raindrops and pray to the sun gods. Will the Sox and Yankees be able to stave off the rain and complete their shortened series in the Bronx? No problem for the Mets and Diamondbacks as they open their series in the desert. Game 1 of the NBA Finals in Dallas, and the Islanders have a new coach, Ted Nolan. He'll join us to talk about returning the Islanders to glory. The Midday Show with me, Joe Beningo, 10 to 1 on the Fan. Sports Radio 66 WFAN in New York.
Musicians, starting Friday, step into another dimension where price cuts and markdowns are even bigger than in your wildest dreams. Where you'll find out of this world savings of 60, 70, even up to 80% off on the gear you need. It's Guitar Center's deals from the warped dimension.
Save on all the top manufacturers in every department. Ibanez Electric, Epiphone Acoustics, half off. 10 sets of Diodario electric strings, just $29. And get this, for the first time ever, get a complete drum kit with hardware and cymbals, just $99. Hurry, this 3-day deal is limited to supply on hand. Plus, enter to win a trip for 2 to see No Effects on this summer's Warped Tour. You'll get $500 spending cash and a Fender Telecaster signed by the band.
3-day only deal.
Marshall amps, starting at $69. Pro Vocal mics, $29. Tuners, just $5. Guitar Center's deals from the warped dimension. Savings beyond your wildest dreams. Ends Sunday. Don't miss it.
With the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol, brought to you by Maimonides Hospital. This summer, avoid serious illness on your vacation by visiting the Maimonides Travel Medicine Team first. For information, go to healthytips2006.com. Northbound on the Gowanus BQE, it's slow from the Belt Parkway merge into Flushing Avenue. The problem is roving roadwork that has to be cleared out. Southbound, you're still slow from the LIE to the Kosciuszko Bridge. Eastbound Grand Central Parkway, watch for the left lane being blocked at the BQE. That's standard operating procedure these days. Over at the outbound Lincoln Tunnel, there's an accident being cleared from the North Tube. All lanes being reopened at this time, but watch out for 20-minute delays. Just 5 over at the Holland and slight delays at the George Washington Bridge. And in Passaic County, New Jersey, eastbound on 80 after Squirrelwood Road in West Patterson, accident being cleared. Street cleaning rules in effect. The Imus in the morning forecast, clouds, some sun, 66 and partly sunny skies in Central Park. I'm Rear End Rhonda with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol.
Horse racing's Triple Crown stops right here at Belmont Park, and we've got you covered. Beginning today at 1 with Mike and the Mad Dog's Belmont Preview Show. Then we're off to the races for full-color coverage of the 138th running of the Belmont Stakes tomorrow at 5:30, exclusively on your home for the Triple Crown of horse racing. The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
This is for Karen and Kent Gregory. You know, they say career changes, marriage, and moving are 3 of the most stressful things in life. So, you 2 newlyweds are moving cross-country to open a restaurant, huh? Well, AT&T can help with AT&T Movers Advantage. It's your single source to change your address, set up utilities, and more. We can help with all of it in one easy step. And right now, you can get high-speed internet for just $12.99 a month for 12 months. So that's Karen and Kent's world. For everybody who's not them, if we can deliver a simpler move to them, we can help you too. Make the move from your old cable company to the new AT&T, and you'll get 3 months of high-speed internet free. Just go to att.com/move. Good luck, Karen and Kent. You're braver than I am. SBC is now the new AT&T. Your world delivered. Taxes, other charges, and the FUSF cost recovery fee extra. High-speed internet bill credit applied after 3 months with service. For details of additional charges, restrictions, and requirements, call 1-866-416-6471 toll-free or visit att.com/offer details. Not available in all areas.
Now, what do you do when Father's Day is coming and you've already got a polka dot tie, world's greatest dad coffee mug, and at least one thing made out of popsicle sticks? Now, if you're like me, you ask for cool, high-tech stuff like the advanced shaving technology from Philips Norelco. See, I just scored the Smart Touch XL electric shaver. It has the unique contour following system that pivots and flexes, giving me one of the closest shaves I've ever had. Plus, only Philips Norelco has 3 shaving rings per head, giving you up to 50% increase in shaving surface coverage. Right now, on specially marked Philips Norelco products, you'll get an offer code giving you access to $500 in savings on other high-tech Philips products like plasma TVs and MP3 players. Plus, you can enter for the chance to instantly win a Jaguar S-Type 3.0 and other cool Philips prizes at upgradeyourshave.com. No purchase necessary. So before they start coming up with some crazy ideas, ask your family for a Philips Norelco shaver. Stop by Best Buy for all the coolest gifts for Dad's Day, including Philips Norelco shavers, because a close shave, what's cooler than that?
Golfsmith Golf and Tennis is proud to announce the grand opening of its Manhattan store. The celebration starts Monday, June 12th at 11 a.m. Golfsmith Golf and Tennis is located at 54th and Lexington in Midtown Manhattan. Golfsmith offers the best brands in golf and tennis in a beautiful, easy-to-shop store format. And Golfsmith Golf and Tennis guarantees low prices every day, featuring a 115% low price guarantee. If you can't make it to Manhattan, visit any of Golfsmith's New York metro area locations. Visit golfsmith.com for complete store listings.
Life's about the choices you make. Now the Pay Less, Buy One, Get One half off sale means your life just got a whole lot easier. Buy the shoes that make you look taller and get half off the ones that make him look taller. Get the bag that carries everything and half off the one that can only hold attitude. Get those girl next door shoes. Plus, half off the ones that his mother, father, and best friend warned him about. Pay Less, Buy One, Get One half off anything store-wide. But hurry, life's short and so's BOGO. Now till June 14th. Buy any one item, get a second item of equal or lesser value at half price.
Price includes 4% down payment at 5.5% APR over 30 years.
If you could own a home for $199 a month, would you do it? Because the government and private banks are liquidating thousands of homes right now. Homes that have been foreclosed, confiscated, or repossessed for as little as $199 a month. For a list of foreclosures in your area, call BNI at 1-800-900-8128. Homes of every shape and size are being liquidated right now. To find these foreclosed homes and properties in your area, homes for as little as $199 a month, request a listing from BNI today. Call toll-free 1-800-900-8128. If you can afford $199 a month, you can afford to buy a home. But you can't afford to wait because these homes are being liquidated immediately, many for as little as $199 a month. For a list of homes and properties in your area, call 1-800-900-8128. Find out what $199 a month can get you by calling 1-800-900-8128. 1-800-900-8128.
Copyright 2006, CBS Radio, all rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation at WFAN and Westworld One Entertainment.
WFAN New York 2024.
Good morning at 10 o'clock. This is Rich Ackerman. Orlando Hernandez faced his former team for the first time and pitched a gem, going the distance on a three-hitter in the Mets 7-1 victory in Arizona. It's the first 9-inning complete game victory this year, and a welcome sight for the bullpen. This is catcher Paul LaDuca.
To give our bullpen another day's rest that goes a long way. I mean, 'cause we still got a tough stretch going on, and we have another day off after the next 3 games, so this is big for him to settle in here, too. I know he's been in the spotlight before in New York, but this is good for him and good for, us as a ball club.
Carlos Beltran homered in the win. Jared Wright had 5 good innings, but couldn't get out the 4 batters he faced in the 6th. The Red Sox broke through with 3 runs, 5 more in the 7th to beat the Yanks 9-3. Kurt Schilling went 8 innings, allowing 3 solo homers. Mavericks took Game 1 of the NBA Finals, beating the Heat 90-80, getting 32 from Jason Terry. One half of the men's French Open Final is set. Let's check in with the fans. Graham Agars for more.
Well, that's right. The top seed, Roger Federer, is through to the final as anticipated. He did it much easier than we thought, though. An hour and 38 minutes against an injured David Nalbandian, and the score 3-6, 6-4, 5-2. The Argentinian pulling out in that third set. Federer now awaits the winner of the second semi-final between defending champion Rafael Nadal and Ivan Lubicic. Right now, the advantage is with Nadal. He's currently leading 4-1 already in the first set. That's after just 20 minutes of play. At the French Open, I'm Graham Agars for Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
And the World Cup begins today, starting with Germany and Costa Rica at noon. Join WFAN's Ann Ligori and top sports celebrities at her 9th annual Ann Ligori American Cancer Society Golf Classic, June 26th at Hampton Hills Country Club in West Hampton. Call the American Cancer Society at 631-300-3175 or visit AnnLigori.com to register. This report is brought to you by Chevrolet. Get the facts on Chevy fuel efficiency. Compare Chevy head-to-head. Go to Edmunds.com. And get the facts on Chevy Impala versus the competition. Go to Edmunds.com and compare for yourself. Currently 65 degrees in Central Park, and that's what's happening. This is